Yo, what up? It's the most anticipated wrestling figures for 2026. A toy kind of mood versus my damn toys. Attack of episode 251. We're on the road to 500 now. We hit 250 last week. Check out that episode if you missed it. And now 251. We're heading the other way. And couldn't ask for a better start than with my favorite damn YouTuber, Trey, My Damn Toys. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, brother? I miss you. Haven't seen you since what? Comic-Con. So this is if everybody doesn't know, if you're tuning in, Travis is always the guy that we're usually like at the hip during Comic-Con. We usually like last year we were roommates for the thing, and then we get to, we film each other's interviews and everything like that. So Travis helps me out a lot. And without him, interviews wouldn't be good with Mattel, and we're always just constantly just riffing and cracking jokes. So Travis is the man.
AKA the San Diego Comic-Con Tag Team Champions of the World. Man, that Road Dogg figure, he looks like Snoop Dogg, man. We'll have to talk about that. But, hey, how was 2025 compared to any other year so far? And we'll focus more on Mattel, but later in the show, we'll do the non-Mattel WWE stuff too. But as far as WWE wrestling figures, how was 2025 for you?
2025 was... I think it was a successful year. It seems like every year they elevate themselves in some way. I actually just recorded a 2016 versus 2026 sort of video where we kind of compare them. And it's kind of crazy when you look into some of the statistics of it. Like I think in 2016, they only did like 90 elites roughly in a year. And then in 2025, they did 180 or something like that.
Twice as 2016.
Yeah,
so in
twice.
10 years, double. Yeah.
Double the amount. And that's not even include the Ultimate Edition line didn't even exist. So, I mean, you're like, that's just so much. And I don't know, they've just improved a lot. And I think it's cool. Like a lot of, the people that are on the design team and stuff, they have their ear to the ground. They try to listen and implement the things that we talk about and everything, which is, of course, huge. So I thought that 2025 was really, really excellent. I'm looking forward to big things in 2026 though, as well.
Yeah, and I think the level of transparency we get from the Mattel team, now we got Magic there. He's everywhere now, so it's nice for Bill to have a break and kind of focus on what he wants to do. And Magic's bringing some different life to the line. So I think they're having a good time. And, Ozer's always been the king of transparency. We see it sometimes other lines like Marvel Legends, you'll see Dan Yoon there. I'm now starting to see B-Mac, who was with Transformers, now with G.I. Joe in the forums. It's just the thing to do to keep fans updated. So appreciate all those brand managers, global brand managers for doing the thing. But Ozer is certainly the king of that. And Bill and Magic are kicking butt. But man, if anything else, above all else, man, 2025 was the year of You Can't See Me, Cena. And we saw a lot of Cena in 2025. And Cena's your guy, right? He's your favorite wrestler of all time, right? And so this had to be a big year for you to have just so much Cena's, and you got like 3 or 4 ranking videos of Cena's for 1 year.
Yeah, it was crazy. When he dropped the retirement on us, we were like, oh man, this is crazy. But I didn't expect really, I think Mattel kind of went above and beyond, releasing the John Cena's, and I don't think it's going to be the end. I think we're going to continue to see those retirement tour shirts and things like that come out. But as a Cena fan, I was kind of ripping when Mattel first started, they were making, Cena, Rey Mysterio. Then, he kind of left, so they kind of cooled off. And then it became kind of the, Cody Rhodes, Hulk Hogan show there for a minute. And now it's like, oh, Cena's finally getting some love again. So it's just nice to reap the benefits of that. And it's nice, too, because the figures are better than ever. So you're getting, all these new additions. But, yeah, John Cena. We won't talk about the run itself, but the figures have been nice.
Right. And as far as the run of figures, there was a lot. And there was so much that we didn't want to congest our list with Cena. There's a couple here and there that didn't make this list. And this list is yours. But before we get into My Damn Toys top 3, and if you missed the video, you'll be seeing it for the first time here, top 3 Cena figures of the year with some honorable mentions. We got to shout out this one that's coming out. Hopefully, is it coming out this year, right? Like the fall or summertime? It's the Ultimate Final Match Cena, and it's a $45 figure from Mattel Creations. The pre-order window is now closed. But do you want to talk about what we got here? There was a change too, right?
Yeah, so the big thing was, this is his last time ever, his last matchup, and they put this up on Mattel Creations, and I would imagine this figure's probably, usually the made to order stuff takes about 10 months. Yes, so I would hope by, fall, maybe Thanksgiving-ish, maybe a little before that, I would hope to see this figure, and maybe by Comic-Con we'll see a prototype of this on display, maybe. You never know about those things, but I could see it happening. I could see them, getting us a 3D printed prototype out there and showcasing the Cena at Comic-Con potentially. Maybe we'll get to see this thing. But yeah, it was they originally when they first showed it, it had a bunch of things that he didn't end up wearing in the matchup. So they had to, everybody was like, hey, this isn't even accurate. So they went back and they fixed the towel deco, the knee pad color, the shoes, the armbands that he wore, and then they even threw in the armbands, the bonus armbands for for shifting gigs. So you kind of get a I want to say that's his SummerSlam gear they threw in there. So, or the white band. So you could kind of make like a 2-in-1 or whatever you want to do there. You could make it happen, but I think it looks good.
So just to be clear, the one on the right is the one we're getting. The one on the left was the first one. Is that what happened, or what?
Opposite. So the one on the right was the original, and then you can see
Okay.
you see like the towel deco, and then you got the white bands instead of the red bands. So it's weird because he wore on the right, he wore the red bands for the promo material, these podcasts, things like that. And then when he came out versus Gunther, for whatever reason, I don't know what the reasoning is. Maybe we'll find out in some, WWE unveil all, tell every secret possible in the business, and they'll show us why he switched the armbands there.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense. And then as far as the look, they're really showcasing the sculpt. Is this an all new face that we're getting, and the hair and everything? The
Oh,
face.
it's not because
Okay.
for whatever reason, John Cena, he's kind of like The Rock. He's like this superstar that's kind of above wrestling and toys, honestly. So he doesn't get scanned often. He doesn't do these things.
Right.
So we've had the same John Cena head sculpts and scans and everything. I think every single Ultimate Edition he's ever had has had the same face sculpts, and he's had 7. I think all of them have the same, besides his new heel one that's coming out.
Right.
I think all of them have the same head. They just have slightly different hair. So it's an odd thing, but
Right. All right. Well, since you already do have a video, and go check that out when this is over, it's the best John Cena's for 2025. You've also done the best John Cena's of all time, among other videos. But we'll kind of rapid fire this segment. But I just definitely wanted you to spotlight Cena, since 2025 is the year of Cena. And man, my dad lives right next to where Cena grew up. He lives in West Newbury. From a couple hours away from West Newbury growing up. So we had to focus on my guy from Boston. So your honorable mention here, right away, you went with the 54 Chain Gang jersey John Cena. It's from the Hall of Champions Target exclusive 4-pack. Of course, you see 2 other wrestlers there, Ultimate Warrior and Roman Reigns. But you want to just chime in real quick on this one?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite eras of John Cena. So shortly before, like I've always been a John Cena fan, but this was my favorite run of his. So when you got into the the black and white or the camo, and you got into the basketball jersey, into the football jersey, baseball jersey, that era for me was peak Cena. That's when I really loved the character. And so this is an attire and a look of John Cena I've wanted for years. And so that Mattel finally made that, it was huge. And the figure doesn't, it's not very stiff compared to his other long George molds. And then they even got the shoe details in there. It was just a nice one there, even though I think it's a repeat head sculpt, but I mean, that's fine. It's all about the gear and, everything like that.
Yep, that's par for the course with Cena, like you said. But yeah, this one's sick. I don't know. Has this pack, has it ever hit clearance? Because I don't even know if I have it. A lot of these box sets I'll buy and stuff them in the closet. I never open them. But did this ever go on sale? I'd like to pick up the Cena.
Not that I know of. I felt like it was selling at full price, but I could be wrong about that. But the box sets, they've done pretty well. I feel like, especially between Walmart and Target. I feel like the Walmart ones probably go on clearance more, but the Target ones, yeah, I don't remember seeing this on clearance. I know the Evolution one went on clearance and some others, but it
Yeah,
wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me though, because the Legends figures, man, they go on clearance like a day on the shelf, and they're going on clearance. So you might be
gotcha.
able to find a deal.
Gotcha. And I mean, if we were going to talk about the worst figures of the year, maybe we'll chime in some of that as we go on. But that Evolution 3-pack and that NWO 3-pack deserve a mension
Yeah,
for some of the worst things that Mattel, like you said, has come out with 180 just elites, right? Not even ultimates.
yeah,
So you
correct.
come out with that many elites plus like 3 ultimates a wave now instead of 2. you're going to make some bums, you're going to make some mistakes. So that's kind of what happened. But one you didn't consider a bum, and I'm sure Pat McAfee would like this choice. It's the Indy Colts, Peyton Manning, John Cena, Royal Rumble from the Royal Rumble set. What do you think of this one?
I love this. So I've been going to the Royal Rumble every year. I'm not going this year because it's in Saudi, obviously, but I was there for this Royal Rumble, and I knew that he announced that it would be his last Royal Rumble ever, and it being an Indy, and I'm a big football fan. I'm not as big of I'm an NFL fan, but I'm not as big of an NFL fan as I am a college football fan.
Well, you're in Alabama. You got to like college football.
Correct.
It'd be a sin.
Yeah, exactly. But this gear I just thought was so clean. So like you have a bunch of my favorite colors in there. The white was really clean. I remember seeing this gear at the superstore, I guess you could call it, the Royal Rumble Superstore, and it just was so clean. And then you pair that with, I talk about this all the time, but the formula of this Cena is just one of the best. It poses well. There's not a lot of limitations. It's dated, but it just moves well, man. It moves well. You put good gear on there. You got the non-Velcro shirt. It's just really, I don't know, it stands out. It's a good one.
Well, as a New England Patriots fan, I couldn't buy this just out of the loyalty, the Brady Manning rivalry. Yeah. But moving on to your top three, this was part of a 3-pack. The Fruity Pebble Cena Elite Walmart. Take me through it. This one's cool, but it's another pack I kind of skipped on. I haven't seen it on sale either.
Yeah, so this one is a kind of a re-release. It's like an upgrade in a certain way. Some people probably say it's a downgrade in some ways. So this is his 2015 look. You got the Velcro shirt again. You got the details on the shoes. I talk about this in those ranking videos. It's like in these John Cena's, you're going to get a lot of repeat, right? Like the formula is virtually the same. You're getting a change in attire, maybe a slightly different hair change, or maybe a slightly different thing here or there. But for the most part, it's like the same formula. So you're kind of getting down into an attire preference. And I think a lot of people would agree this teal shirt was like really big in 2015, and they just they did a good job. They got the details on the shoes, and you upgrade that figure from 2016. I think it was the Elite 40 John Cena was this attire, but didn't come with the shirt. It had single jointed arms. There was different things like that. It didn't have a removable wristband, so they took a really good figure and upgraded it.
Yep. And yeah, I would say a lot of all his shirts, when he starts having like cartoons or video games on it, those are hot ones for him. Mm-hmm. Next up, number 2. This is where, if I were to make a list, I'd probably throw this in my top 3. It was a little hard to get in the beginning from the stores, but then, what was it? Fanatics had it up a bunch of times, so I was able to scoop a couple. So this was greatest hits, invisible, clear, translucent, whatever you want to call it, but either way, you can't see him. Cena.
Yeah, this figure right here was crazy because it actually, we talk about, action figures, whatever, but this figure was being seen by, it went viral. ESPN was posting about it. I think like New York Times and people were posting about this. So this is like this reached so many people because of, the execution of it. And they've been doing this for years, right? Like you go back to I think maybe as early as the 80s, it may have even been in the 70s possibly, companies have known there's a market for these invisible figures, and like it just fits, right? It's a joke, it's fun. You put them in the box, you can't see them. It's an inside joke everybody is in on. It's just, I don't know, it's really fun. It kind of captures Cena, and I think that it was executed pretty well. I think that it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, you couldn't not put it up there. It's just one of those, Mattel does some goofy things sometimes, but I think in this case it worked really well.
Yeah, and they're toys, so they got to be goofy after a while. And I goofed by not doing pictures of the new Bobby Drake Iceman Secret Wars translucent figure with this. That would have been a lot of fun to throw John Cena on the surfboard, if you will, or the ice board. Yeah. But anyway, I got to do a mashup someday. And then number 1, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think I got like 3 of these. It was just no doubt. This is an all-time classic Comic-Con release. At first I was like, oh, of course they went with Cena because it's year of the Cena, but then it just made sense, right?
Yeah, it's a great pick, and this is one I didn't really see coming either, but there's just a lot. They did a lot with this one. Another similar to that the Target Hall of Fame 4-pack, that Champ is Here gear is one of my favorite Cena gears ever. And then you have, you throw in the Chain Gang pendant, you got all the different head sculpts, you got the nostalgic packaging back to 2010, with the original Elite line, throws in all these championship belts with the John Cena side plates and nameplates. And I don't know, they just really outdid themselves. Then you have that box that, it comes in. It's just a really, really fun, really good execution. And I think it was a like home run for the Comic-Con pick. I just think it kind of screams special edition, and that's kind of what Comic-Con's usually about, right? So I think they nailed it with this.
Unlike HBK and Muhammad Ali, this was going fast at Comic-Con as well, right? Like this was not an easy one to get.
Yeah, this one, it seemed like with the Muhammad Ali and some of those others, they were plentiful, right? Like you could walk right up and get them. But this one seemed to be, like it's not that it wasn't available, but you had to wait around to the end of the week, the end of the day. If you're around Comic-Con, you know what that's about. So this one, this was a hot seller and everybody really, really wanted it. I heard people talking about it, and John Cena's, he's got virality, so people really wanted this one.
Yep, and I mean, like you said, the side plates, 5 championship belts. We always talk about it. If you want to buy belts on, the Belt Labs or some like on eBay or Etsy, sometimes you're paying $20 a belt. So to pay $50 for a whole set like this with 4 scans, 4 sets of hands, and an iconic in his final year, it just made sense. And this is almost like a perfect send off for John Cena, if you will, even though there's going to be a million. Cena's still coming. I think a perfect send-off figure for the final year, for the champ this year. But yeah, that's the Cena wrap up for 2025. But let's get into our elite. And before that, I want to give a major shout out to WrestlingFigureNews.com, our buddy Justin Kendall. A lot of these photos here. Go check out Wrestling Figure News. He's like, you're my go-to, Trey, when it comes to the YouTube news, and he's my go-to for YouTube. And he's my go-to for Wrestling Figure News when it comes to just blogging, reading, on a quick break or something to read. Shout out to Justin. He does an awesome job, Wrestling Figure News.
And he blows up the Comic-Con vlogs. He was you remember I put him in every vlog I think this year from Comic-Con. He's the one that was saying it's dope, and like we kind of plugged it.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome. He's one of the guys. Like I've obviously met a ton of incredible people over the years doing this. You're one of those. I can name 20 people, but Justin's like just a standout guy, and I love talking to Justin. Anytime I'm with him, you're just shooting the shish and talking figures, and this is what I love to do. So like anytime I can do that, he's always a listening ear for my bull crap. So,
but he's hard to get a hold of because he'll drop in for a day.
Yeah,
like literally, like he'll drop in a Comic-Con, he'll drop in a wrestling. He was at WrestleMania weekend. He'll come down, shoot the figures, and bounce. Like he won't go to any of the matches. He won't even go to the indie matches or anything. So he's a hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah, he drops in like Sting, takes his photos and repels back up into the ceiling until the next Comic-Con.
It's Justin! All right. Best elite of the year. We kind of teased it. We're going to start off with some honorable mentions here. We'll start off with your list. This was a great one. And shout out to Mattel. They actually sent me the chase on this one, so I didn't have to chase it down at the dirty old Walmarts. But these are going to be our top 3 WWE Elite, and we included Legends, PLE, all one list here. Honorable mentions, you went with the Monday Night War 6 Booker T white tights chase. Talk to me, Trey.
This figure, I remember it's got to be almost a year now, maybe a little less than a year, but I remember when they showed this figure in the the gallery that they post, right? They post a lot of galleries, right? And Mattel posted up a gallery of this figure, and immediately when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's a figure of the year contender. Like, just look at it. I mean, the white pops off so nice. You have a great contrast, great head sculpt, good formula pose as well. Newly sculpted strap boots that people have been wanting forever for Booker T. It's just an absolute stunner. And then you get the championship as well. So it's just a nasty fit, just nice. And it's also, it hits that nostalgia spot. So it's nice.
Agreed. Yep. He would have been an honorable mention or top 10er for me. Next up, guys, Chris Jericho would call him Legends 26, Kirk Angel.
Yeah, this figure, this is another one that people have wanted for just years and years. And I know a lot of people wanted the Great Muta up here, and the Great Muta figure is fantastic, but I think this Kurt Angle just is a little bit better in the grand scheme. You got to take into account every single piece of it. And I don't know, man, this figure just felt great in hand, got the mouth guard in there. You get the gold medal. It's just one of those Kurt Angles that we waited on for a very, very long time. We were patient enough, and we got, you know, the best version of it. I think had this figure came out earlier, it may not even, you know, you'd have single jointed arms, or maybe the head sculpt wouldn't be as good or whatever. So this is a banger.
I guess just because Kurt's been off TV for a minute, but yeah, I was shocked. Like, I think there was a little rush for this in the beginning, but I found them on sale or clearance. Like, a lot of times you do find the legends. Right now, the Bobby Heenan set that's there is like, it says clearance and it's like $1 off. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? So I saw the whole set in Utah at Target, and I'm like, I can't fork down $100 for a legend set when, you know, usually sometimes they go for like $7, $8. And it's not about the quality of the figures, just being smart with your money, you know?
Yeah, same. I just recently went on a toy hunt, and I've been looking for the damn RVD. I finally just broke down and ordered it from Mattel Creations. But I found probably 20 Bobby Heenans, 20 Kurt Hennigs, 20 British Bulldogs. And I want all the figures, but I don't want them enough to pay full price. So I'm waiting for those to come down, and I'll buy the rest of them probably.
Is that RVD hard? Is there a chase in that RVD, or is it just one?
There's no chase, but
is it hard to get? Because I saw it in Utah and didn't grab it because I figured it would go on clearance. That was a mistake, I guess.
You should have grabbed that RVD, because I went to 2 or 3 Targets and I couldn't find the RVD, but the rest were plentiful. I think the RVD, people want that damn briefcase in that attire.
Oh, so. Gotcha. All right. Well, next time if I see it, but I'll be in Philly towards the end of the month, so maybe they'll have better Targets than they do in Cali, land of the scalpers. But all right, here's my honorable mentions now. I've never had Jey Uso on a list, just because I always look at him as like, unless it's a tag team, because I just look at him as a tag team guy. I don't care if he won at Mania or whatever. I skip his entrance now. It's like 20 minutes long, and I used to like it. I thought it was cool. Now 20 minutes of his entrance, I'm not. But this figure though, like, and I saw you talk about this, I believe, with Ringside, right? We got the hands just already molded in there, so you don't have to mess with it. Maybe, you know, if there was problems with QC where they didn't fit, it just become this big thing. And I finally got the Yeet sunglasses, and one of your videos says there should be those sunglasses with every Jey Uso. But yeah, this was a great one. Love the colorway, that kind of Tar Heel blue. Even though, you know, the jacket's plastic, I think it's good. I don't care for the face sculpt, but once you put the sunglasses on, it's perfect. It's kind of one of those, like, without it, he looks goofy as hell, kind of like David Otunga on crack or something. But with the shades on and the hands, it's a fun defining moment. I don't mind it.
Yeah, this figure was damn good. This is I've talked about this too, you know, with the year of Jey Uso. I think there was 2 gears that I wanted, and, you know, they've continued to make Jey Uso, but it was this gear and then the Royal Rumble gear from Elite 124 in the white and pink. I wanted those 2 gears because, I mean, they're like my channel colors, or some of my favorite colors. So that pink, that blue pops off really nicely. And it's a good Jey Uso. I think I put it at 25. He either was number 25 or he was just, I mean, I had to cut him at the very last moment from the top 25. I can't remember if it was in the 25 or if it was right at the edge. But yeah, this is a very solid Jey Uso, and probably, I mean, you could argue this is probably the best Jey Uso we've seen in the past couple of years, if you're not counting the Ultimate, whatever. But the gear is just too good.
Totally agree. And then up next, I didn't see this on any list, and I did a full ranking of this wave from Monday Night War 7. And Albert, I'm not an Albert guy, Prince Albert guy at all. But man, the level of work they did with the face, especially with that really tough Fu Manchu beard. You got the chain kind of underneath the pendant. You got all the hair. And he's, you know, a simple black outfit, but it's got a cool logo design on it. And yeah, this was a sleeper hit for me, and it was the best of the wave.
Yeah, this figure I think was maybe number 10 or 9 on my top 25, I think. Okay. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this one I may have put it in my most underrated honorable mentions, like when I crown my most underrated figure. I want to say he may have been up there. I can't remember off the top of the dome, but this is a damn good figure, and I talked about this figure. This is a damn good one. You love, like, just the attention to detail with the piercings, the body hair, the, you know, not giving him the jacked arms. Like, they're big, but they're not, you know, super jacked and cut like they give Mick Foley for some reason.
Right. Yeah, he's got the dad bod kind of thing going on.
Yeah, like he's a unit. And I mean, this guy's like, what? Wasn't he like 6'7", 330, something like that? Dude was a unit. So I think they did a good job on this one.
Like a Jason Kelsey kind of dad bod, you know, like still a husky guy that could kick your ass, but he's not like Scott Steiner. So, all right. And then number 3 on your list, I don't know what the hell happened to all the logos. I had logos for all these, but they're gone. I don't know what happened with the slides. But anyway, this is your number 3, and it's the Monday Night War 8. I got something to say about this guy, but I'll save it for later. But this is the Heart Foundation, Brian Pillman.
Yeah, this figure, another one where, you go to these shows and cons, and I can put, like, you walk into the booth and you're looking around and there's so much going on. You usually, I mean, dude, it's so hard. You've been there. You've been at Comic-Con. You know how overwhelming it is. You miss stuff. But this is one of those figures. I saw it in the booth, and I was like, man, that is automatic. You just look at a figure and you can just immediately tell like how special it is. That's how this figure is for me. I think that, they nailed the likeness. I love the hair. I know it had kind of a running change, I think, on the hair in some parts. Like sometimes it's inconsistent, but the hair and the likeness, I like the formula they chose. These newly sculpted legs. You have that denim pattern in there. The jeans tucked into the shoes. If this figure had released again a few years ago when they had the old John Cena shoe mold that was so old it could legally drive a car, it would like this figure probably wouldn't be as good. But the newly tooled things and the paint apps and just everything, like this is a fantastic figure. Just a really great job, and the attention to detail is immaculate.
And actually, I really am mad that none of the logos are on here, because cancel that. I'm going to talk about this figure now because it's my number 1 elite of the year. I just, the likeness is absolutely insane. Brian Pillman is arguably, if he's not my favorite wrestler of all time, he's in the top 3. I got so many favorites, Sting, and I could, you can go down the list. But Brian Pillman is definitely up there, the loose cannon, and this was the iconic look for me. Even though he didn't do a lot of wrestling that year, he went crazy on Stone Cold. He joined the Heart Foundation. He was a maniac on commentary on Sunday Night Heat. So just the details all over the gear, on the vest. You get the Heart Foundation shirt. Just the posing with the crutch. And yeah, they went and changed the likeness. I remember Wrestling Figure News on an update. Maybe you did an update on that too. And they listened to the fans. They fixed it. They got the hair correctly. And then just the perfectly tucked in boot for this figure. Such a, late 90s, early 2000s look at one of the greatest of all time. So rest in peace, Brian Pillman. My favorite elite of the year. We'll just spoil it since you already picked it for your number 3. But we'll go to my number 3, and you badmouth Muta. So it's my turn to big up Muta, because it's the Monday Night War 7 Chase Dark Carnival NWO Great Muta. The face paint was different. The other face paint had the NWO. This has the Dark Carnival when he tagged with Vampiro. And during the very low run, the Vince Russo era of WCW Nitro, but one of the highlights there was the extended NWO international family with Muta. And then I have as a tie, man, with the Legends 27 retirement match, Muta, where he faced Shinsuke. Because we got Shinsuke, remember that, with the chase, and that was one of the best Shinsuke's since the Ultimate, or in a long time. And now we got the retirement Muta. And, Bill McKean is a massive international fan. He was in Japan for Wrestle Kingdom and all the other indies and stuff. And so, he put his heart and soul into these, and it showed.
100%. Like anytime, dude, you just know when a figure is going to be, totally badass. And the Mutas, every Muta they've made, from the superstars to the ultimates to the elites, they've just absolutely nailed it. And I think they did a fantastic job. This is, they just stand out, man. I mean, what do you want to say? They're very toyetic, as they say, and the cloth goods on that on that Legends one is insane. I didn't like how felt like the mask fit a bit big, but I mean, it's really hard to capture, like anytime you have like a helmet style deal like that going over, or a mask like that going over, it's just, unless you sculpt it on, it's going to be a bit bulky. It's just the way it is. But I know he wanted to get the mask and the likeness in there, so he wasn't going to make a separate head sculpt. But yeah, these Mutas are fantastic, and they have a lot of details.
Yeah, and then like the 60-year-old KG Muto face was like perfect with the paint, the white beard, and everything. So you getting 2-3 different looks with some of these figures, and obviously those are Chase. And it's so close, the NWO one, Monday Night War, so close to the other one. If you flinched, you might have grabbed the Chase by accident, so the regular one, and vice versa. But just a great year for Muta. We'll talk more about Muta obviously when we get into Ultimate, but had to place this as a tie for my number 3. But now we're going to kick into number 2, And we got 2 Stone Colds. We'll start with you first with this one. I think this one was just too new for me to wind up on my list, but it's the Elite 122 Stone Cold. And I know you're a big fan, putting this one over like crazy lately.
Yeah, so the thing with this figure is, anytime we get a figure, like if it's available to be purchased through Ringside, I think that counts for the year for me. I don't go based off retail or whatever. Like this figure will hit retail probably into February, maybe March or something like that. But for me, it's a 2025 release because you're able to obtain it in some way through Ringside. And so, but this figure specifically, it's just the upgrades, man. I mean, you take an existing figure like the Monday Night Wars figure that had the shorts, the iconic shorts of Stone Cold, but they made them charcoal gray. They made those black here. You got the bigger formula, so you give him the bigger shoulders, the bigger arms. He's got a baseball jersey that we've wanted for years from Mattel. I mean, we've wanted this baseball jersey for years. You got the watch accessory, you get the hat. It's a repeat head sculpt, but I don't know, man. This is just an iconic Stone Cold, and they nailed it. Like it just perfectly represents the character. I don't know what you want here. It's just so damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. And if I have it, it's a 2025 release. I get a lot of Ringside stuff, but it's mostly exclusives. So if a mainline figure, if I got it in 2025, it was on Amazon, bro. Like it shipped from Amazon. I think it was Amazon. So if it ships from Amazon, because I get it, like the Ringside stuff, sometimes they get it a couple months early, or longer than that, or sometimes just a week early. But man, if it's on Amazon, it's 2020. You know what it is? When you get it, it counts, right? Like we did our G1.
Yeah, that's what I would think. And I'm not getting these from the factory or something super early or something like that. So for me, I think it counts. If you get it, if you put a pre-order in and then you get it before the year's over, that's that year for me. But I know that companies go based off retail calendars and things like that are a little bit different. So,
well, look, I didn't even open this one, and it ended up my number 2. It's the Defining Moments Stone Cold Steve Austin. For some reason, I think this just shipped when I was just super slammed with work, or I think I might have been even in Texas or something, whatever it was. Just doing the traveling work thing, but just based on images alone, the packaging, the iconic bloody face. I mean, we started to get into blood now. It's like with the we got it with the Cody with the damage, right? So now we're starting to get blood as long as it's with Ringside, and this just opened up a whole bunch of doors for WWE figures, right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, now you can fantasy book all you want. You can make different. I don't know about. I mean, it'd be cool if they would, adopt the AEW Jazzwares thing and just go straight. I don't know if they call it blood and guts. You can't call it blood and guts, but if you did something like that, was, some sort of new line from Mattel that would be Ringside exclusive, and it's all bloody figures, and you do like 2 or 3 figures a wave, similar like a Defining Moment. So you don't have to wait for Defining Moments every time to get a battle damage figure. But yeah, this was a huge, groundbreaking figure, one that people will, look back on. You talk about everything like that. And I mean, this is a shirt that people have wanted for years. Iconic moment. You got a lot of great stuff here. And I understand why people have it in their top. Like I understand what they're going for. Right.
And then when we get into our most anticipated, we got certainly a bloody figure that we're going to talk about. He's on the thumbnail. Spoiler alert there. So just to clear up, we are going over right now our best of the year to prepare us for what we got for the rest of 26. And we'll talk about, and we were almost a month deep into 26. So we'll talk about the stuff that's already hit as well. So we got all the bases covered here with My Damn Toys on episode 251. So thanks for hanging out. But man, my number 1 was Pillman, right? Because he was your number 3. But man, did you get a lot of shit for this? Be honest.
A lot. Yeah. People were like, what? Or, people had their opinions, and, they tearing down my list. But I think, and this is a video I'm going to probably make soon, is I think I don't think people fully know what a good figure is necessarily. And I don't say that like, oh, you don't know what a good figure is. I'm saying more of, people think that rare means good, or people think that, because the superstar is a 20-time Hall of Famer, that's what, makes a figure eligible necessarily. And I think in some cases it could, but I think that with this figure, people were telling me, oh, I could find that on clearance. I'm like, even better. I'm glad that you can find this on clearance. Right. Or, I think that this is it is damn good representation of Tyler Bate. It poses really well. It had some new formulas going on here that are really posable. It comes with the entrance jacket. It's got the tattoos. It's just a lot of attention to detail. And the figure just feels really damn good in the hand. If you own this figure, you know what I'm talking about. It's just it looks like they shrunk down Tyler Bate. And I think that it's been my favorite figure of the year. I think it was just so much fun with that figure. So
Yeah.
I deemed it the best.
I was a big Tyler fan when it was like WWE UK, and I thought or NXT UK, they did a great job with that. And then they kind of went away with it for a little bit. But even leading up to that for indies like Progress and OTT and all those international stuff, you had WXW, that Gunther, Walter kind of had a reign, and Ilya Dragunov and stuff. So, man, a lot of the talent in WWE now came from that British strong style. And he was with like Pete Dunne and who's the other guy that he was tagging with?
I love all of the Trent Seven.
Yeah.
It's like all
Trent
these guys.
Seven. Yeah, there you go.
All these guys are who needed an elite, by the way. I wish we got an elite of him. But yeah, Tyler Bate he's a great talent. And I've always been a huge Pete Dunne guy, like you said. Always putting those guys over. Like, I don't know, there's something about their style that's just really I don't know, it makes you buy in. They're just really tough, and they don't wrestle like cowards, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there's something about them. But what's cool too about Tyler Bate is his first figure was one of the worst, like an atrocious elite, just an atrocious figure, similar to like people that watch me will know I'm talking about, like the Elite 81 Street Profits, like that Angelo Dawkins figure, like how bad it was. And then on their second elites, they got significant upgrades. So it's like cool to see things like that. And I remember when we first saw the gallery for this Tyler Bate, and I was like immediately like, oh damn, like, when you have a banger, and that's what I felt. Like, similar to the Brian Pillman, similar to the Booker T.
Sweet. All right, cool. Let's talk about our favorite Ultimate. It's my favorite wrestling line that there is, and man, this was probably the favorite female wrestler of the year, or at least in the top 3 for many, if not for Rhea Ripley or whatever. But yeah, Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton. Look, I'm not too many. I'm not the biggest Tiffany fan or anything, but they nailed this from day one. Ever since I saw the digital render, and the basic was solid, but yeah, this took it to another level, huh?
Yeah, dude, this one. I mean, like I'm not a big fan of the smiling head sculpt, and I made that known. But I think it's, you get enough with that serious face that I think can cover your grounds. But
sure,
just from the neck down, this figure is just unreal, man. I mean, they overstep some things that Mattel hasn't ever done, right? Like, she has specifically sculpted upper torso that's one of one. She has a lower torso that was one of one until they gave it to China. She has that similar feature there. But that's what makes this figure special. It's the ability to pose the figure around, not be limited. It's got a lot of details. It's just one of those game changer figures for Mattel. I think that, like, this figure blew me away in the review, and to this day, I still pick this figure up and pose it around. It's just so damn good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't have it yet, but I would agree this is the best female Ultimate of the year. So, but yeah, I did see it in Utah too, but just waiting for sales, man. I can't buy everything. Especially when you collect a gazillion toy lines like I do. But next up for your honorable mentions, we talked about Jay, and now you got the Ultimate 26, Jay Uso.
Yeah, this one was another one similar to that Elite. It just stands out. I really liked the execution of the entrance vest. I like that kind of, it can be a bit thin sometimes and may tear or whatever. And, it's a bit sensitive there. But I like the way they designed the entrance vest. And the posability of the figure is really good. You get the glasses, good head sculpts in there, and it just stands out. It's a fun figure overall. I think halfway through the year we did a ranking every Ultimate, and I think it was number 1 for a while there until the latter half of the year we got so many damn good Ultimates, so it kind of fell down in the countdown a little bit. But it was a really, really good one. And if you could only buy one Jey Uso this year, this would be the one to buy.
Right. The one on the picture on the left looks fantastic, but on the right, the anatomy of his shoulders, man, I don't know about that. It looks a little off.
Yeah, that I didn't notice the shoulders as badly on this figure as, like some of the other figures we discussed, like CM Punk has an issue with that for some reason. Yep. I think it's that torso. I think Great Muta even has that issue too. So you may run into some of that. That's something that desperately needs to change in 2026. I hope they can really, make that a point of emphasis to change in 2026, is to get that. Like, that's just, you don't want to look at the figure and immediately think to yourself, okay, something's off here.
Gotcha. When you're making your list, do you ever go, man, this guy has so many figures. I have to pick one to represent him because there's so many. Do you do that when you're list? Like you just think like this would be a good spot for this guy because he just has so many figures and I can only pick one. Do you do that with your list?
Like if you mean like if I were doing a top 25, like I can only have one representation of the character in the top.
Or do you just go, screw it? If he's got like multiple, you know, like 2 or 3 figures that belong in the top 10, will you put them in, or you just go, hey, I want to have a variety on my list? I kind of went with the variety, so I was wondering if you do the same.
I think there's a case of this in my elites. I think I put John Cena, 2 John Cenas at number 11. So because again, it's like a deco change. So unless it's like significant difference between the figures, I would put them equally there. You know, I've done that with John Cena before, and I think I've done that with Finn Balor before too. It just kind of depends, I think. You know.
The reason I asked, this guy had a big year in 2025 and 2024 as well, become a big superstar in WWE, and it's Damian Priest, and it's Senior Money in the Bank, and I thought he had, you know, with this WrestleMania look with the Skeletor or whatever, I just thought it was a great look for him, and he has so many damn figures. I'm like, I gotta give some love to this guy because he is very toyetic, right?
Oh, 100%. And I think he came in at number 9 maybe or 10 for my top ultimates. And I think at one point he was number 3 or something like that. So this figure is really good. The thing about Damian Priest is originally, before they switched his formula, he had, I mean, his figure, like we talk about on the channel, like nobody bats 1,000, but a lot of Damian Priest figures they're batting 1,000 because they're so damn good. But when they changed his formula, they made him too short. And so his last couple of elites have been too short, but his ultimate edition is the right scale. And then, you know, some of his earlier elites are the right scale. So that helped those. But yeah, this figure is really damn good. It just stands out. The purple is really saturated. I don't know why they gave him the big ass briefcase for some reason. Like, I don't know why they did that, but besides that, yeah, I mean, this figure was a standout.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And then my other honorable mention is a figure that people forget released in 2025. And the only reason I am 1,000% sure that this figure released in 2025 is because your boy here was the first to review it. That doesn't happen with wrestling figures. I'm not, you know, Alex, Kyle, you know, Fig Eel yourself, but yeah, I got my hands on this first because it hit Target in California quick, and I was able to grab it. But it's polka dot Dusty, and you see a sun in the background, Stardust. But yeah, this was a super fun figure for me. A little jacked in the arms, a little cut up or whatever, but funny faces. I liked all the sculpts. I liked his gear. You know, he just posed well and everything. I like the addition of, like, you know, that match he had with Boss Man, that Ultimate Grudge where he got the nice stick in the hat and everything. So this was a super fun release, and I think I reviewed it on like January 11th or 7th or something crazy. Even the Wrestling Figure Database has it as a 2024 figure, but it did not hit until January, probably a year ago from around now.
Yeah, 100%. People forget about this figure because I was thinking the same thing when I was making my list. I was like, no, that Dusty definitely released this year, so I had to include him there. But for whatever reason, on mine, maybe it's not yours, but my because I love Dusty. I think that, you know, the polka dot gear is iconic. You got some great things going on with this figure. For some reason, mine, like, the legs do not move well at all. And if they felt like King Kong, do you have the King Kong Bundy Ultimate?
I didn't grab it yet, but I definitely want that with
like that figure flows a lot better. Like, you know, we get these big characters, and just because they're big characters, you know, you want them to pose. I want them to be able to move around, you know, because these guys were athletic. They may be big, but they were athletic. They can move. And, you know, Bam Bam was a good example of that. King Kong Bundy, these guys, like, their figures, I want them to be able to move. And for whatever reason, my Dusty would not move at all. And it seemed like, you know, that like, if a figure can't move for me, it's going to be hindered a lot. And, you know, somebody has to come near the bottom. So I think this one was maybe within the top 10 of the bottom of the ranking. But again, like, if you're ranking all of them, somebody's got to be dead last. You know, it's just the way that it is.
Well, since I showed a review thumbnail for me, it was only fair to show your review thumbnail. And this was a great thumbnail. Do we do thumbnail of the year, Trey, or what? This is one. Are you proud of this thumbnail more than any other thumbnail in 2025?
I don't know about that, but yeah, I always have fun with the, you know, the photography or making the thumbnails, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, you know, a Dominic. That figure is so damn good, man. I had so much fun, and that's part of the reason. Like part that adds into the figure is just, you know, you pick it up and how much fun did I have with this figure? It's like, does it look like the character? And then was it fun to move this guy around? Did I have a lot of enjoyment playing with the figure, posing it around, you know, things like that? And this Dominic was just so much fun, man. The tongue out head sculpt, throw that beanie on there. There's just so much fun here with this figure. So yeah, this was a great ultimate.
Yeah, I'm a massive Dom fan. I always mess with my boys because we're more AEW television peeps than WWE, but or at least they are. I mean, I watch it all, but I always go Dirty Dom, you know, Arrow, AEW. I'm like Dirty Dom's the GOAT. Like they always get mad. But for some reason, I missed the window on this. I think again, work, travel. I missed the window from ringside to get it, and it was like on back order. So I haven't been able to pick up. Is this only this main line though, right? Should be hitting. I don't think it's hit Target in Walmart yet, right?
No, it hasn't. But it's the next set to hit. So probably February, March, something like that. This thing's going to get, and it's going to be a top seller. Like people, if you don't have this figure yet, you're going to like this figure. It's damn.
Yeah, cool. I won't be waiting for clearance on this. I just want to make sure I can, you know, get that link from Amazon or Walmart or whatever, because it's on back order from Ringside Collectibles. So, but yeah, definitely a great choice. And like you said, you got it in 25, so it's a 25 figure. Next up, I believe it's my number 3. It's both of our number 3, and I'll admit it. I planned to today, but as you know, we were talking before the show. I just came back from out of town and had a lot of errands to do. I haven't opened this yet. That was my goal this morning. Didn't happen. Didn't open it yet. But I didn't need to. That's how great this damn 2-pack was. And based on your reviews that I've watched and some of the other videos other people have done, this deserves a top 3, whether you have it or not, whether you opened it or not, right?
Yeah, it's just so damn toyetic, man. I mean, my God, just look at him. He looks like a damn Swiss Army knife. Like you got the you got the skull mask and the jacket and the cape coming down the back and the white gear and the, you know, say what you will about the kissy face, but even the brandy was damn good. You pair them together, it's just right. I remember when I think this figure was leaked, like during WrestleMania, they leaked it out a couple days early. Somebody had some renders or something like that leaked out there, and then we ended up seeing it over WrestleMania weekend in the case, and they presented it to Cody and Brandy on stage at the, you know, the WWE World or whatever.
Sure.
Excuse me. And this figure is just damn good, man.
Yep. So just to be clear, this was my number 3 choice, but you're number 2. And just the gear alone, we got a million Codys. I've even done a best all-time Cody video myself. You've done it. Everyone's done it. But this gear, I mean, this could be, is this the greatest Cody figure of all time?
I don't know. It's up there. It's definitely up there. I don't know if I'd put it at number 1. I think that torn pet Cody, the defining moments, is just so damn good, you know. But this one does have, like, I know it's not necessarily comparable, but
right, it's 2 different. But yeah, I think the torn pec landed number 1 or at least number 2 on my list. But yeah, either way, I'll be excited to, you know, open it up now that I'm home and have a chance to. But yeah, number 2 and 3 for us, and then sticking with 2 more Muta, and I went with both the Chase and the regular because it's my list. If I want to include them both, I can. I could put ties. I could tie 17 wrestlers, but I went with the Muta Ultimate and Future Shock, and I got one signed right above me in this closet. So it was cool to that just made it ultimate itself, was meeting Great Muta, KG Muto at WrestleCon. And I think he wanted it when I brought it. He was like, I felt bad. I should have bought like an extra, maybe not the Chase, but one to give it to him. But I was
surely they sent him a box full. Usually Mattel sends him a box full. You know?
He did. So what's at WrestleCon, his handler was like, "Oh, you should have telling me you should give him a toy. Everybody, he likes gifts. It's like, I'm here to pay him or pay you to get the shit signed for me." And I'm like, I get it. I would love to gift him something if I had an extra. And then like a week or 2 ago, he had like 30 of them from Mattel. Yeah. Like they shipped him a truckload of all kind of Muta figures. He got the other ones I talked about too. But yeah, one of the all-time greats, of course, All Japan, New Japan, and WWE Hall of Famer, the Great Muta. And this one was just extra fun. The missed, Bill McKenna didn't miss on this one, and Future Shock Chase was awesome. And I asked him in a DM, I said, "Are we doing any more Mutas?" And he did not reply, which usually probably means no. So I usually he would say, yeah, stay tuned, but he didn't say anything. And we converse every now and then. But hey, that's not official. I don't know. Do you know the status of Great Muta and his Legends contract?
I don't, but it wouldn't shock me if the ship has sailed, because these people, it doesn't matter who it is, how big they are. Sometimes you just can't work it out, and if you can't work it out, then they take that year that they have them and they pump out as many figures as humanly possible, and they did that with Muta. I mean, Muta had he had a Monday Night Wars Chase. He had from the Vault re-release of those two figures. You had an Ultimate, you had a Chase Ultimate, you had the Legends. So then you had two Superstars figures.
Yeah, I got one up there too. I got a Superstar figure.
So there's they're going to continue.
Here it is. It's signed with my Superstar right there. I don't have the Chase Superstar figure. That thing goes for like $300 or something.
I don't think I've ever seen the Chase, and I've seen regular
Kyle has it
a few times. What?
I think only Kyle has it.
Probably
I'm making a joke, but yeah, he's crazy enough to like open it too and review it. All right, coming up now is number one Ultimate Edition figure of the year. We both agree. And what's great is you can get them on sale, which is just insane. So you talked about it. Oh, it's on clearance. Huh? Well, so is this guy. The number one most famous wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you don't talk about The Rock or Cena or Hogan, but he's in there, and he's number one on our list. And this is the ultimate Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Absolutely. This one is it's just so good. This is like the Stone Cold, that everybody's waited on forever. You got the updated formula, you got new head sculpt, you got the, driving the Zamboni attire is pretty much what it is, but it's a 2-in-1. You can do him in the attire where he's driving the Zamboni, or you can do the wrestling gear, which is awesome. He comes with the 2 cans of beer soda. And then he's got, the knee brace, and there's just a lot to love about this. And again, it's plentiful. Like, everybody's calling this shelf warmer of the year, or, I can still find this. Yeah, good. I mean, what do you like? What you want these figures to be harder to find? I don't understand. Like, this is it's a banger. I don't care. Like, I don't know, but I don't collect for rarity and stuff. So maybe that's where the disconnect is,
I think people, it's like, oh, if I lose my job, I want to make sure my figures are worth something so I can pay off my bills. It's like, don't buy toys to pay your bills, guys. If you're a full-time scalper and that's what you do, I ain't going to knock the hustle, but be careful about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I'm just not gonna, like, I don't know. Like, if a figure is rare, cool, but it's not, it has no bearing on how good a figure is.
Yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, this was a great one, and I agree, man. The jorts were awesome, completely fantastic. The knee brace, like you said, is just the best they've done. The overall build of it is perfect, and yeah, that shirt was a winner, and all the sculpts are pretty damn good, because you usually get some lousy ones thrown in there, but yeah, I think overall at least 2 out of the 3 or whatever were real good. So I think well, is that it? Let me see what we got here. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about an intermission now. We get a little intermission before we get into our most anticipated, our subject title, our main event, our most anticipated wrestling figures of the year. But we're about a few weeks into 2026, so I wanted to talk to you about a couple things that have hit lately. So before we talk about the 2 that we both have, what was it? Chris Sabin Motor?
Yeah, the Motor
Machine Gun. Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns. Yeah, talk about that one and talk about your favorite figures that you got so far for 2026.
Yeah, dude, this Motor City Machine Gun figure, again, man, like, I can tell right most of the time, not every time, sometimes I miss, but there's usually when they showcase a figure in a new gallery or something like that, you can just kind of tell when a figure is going to be good. And there's just so much innovation going on here between the shorts on this guy, the leather jacket, great likeness, good posability, new kick pad mold. The innovation here on the shorts, how they made this soft rubber so it doesn't impede the articulation. You have the sculpted knee pad underneath. It's just, I don't know, they just outdid themselves with this figure, and it's really posable. They even gave him like the Buddy Murphy crotch, so he's got like the sculpted strings and stuff here on the front. There's just a lot to like about this figure. It's and not that the rest of 124 isn't good, but this one has like some special things about it that I think are gonna probably land him on the top figures of 2026 list. So we have that Chris Sabin, and then we also have, I think, probably what everybody, this is going to be WWE Elite of 2026. I don't know how anybody's gonna debate it. This is, I don't, there's a TikTok audio that's like, this is a work of art, and that's what this is. I mean, this thing is just
Miedo.
unbelievable, man. It's, if you missed out on this, man, you have to track this one down. It's just too damn good. I mean, this figure was so good. Magic even messaged me about it. He's like, dude, you've posted this figure 3 or 4 times now. And I'm like, it's just that damn good, man. I can't even like put it down. Like I pick it up every day, it seems, and, mess around with it. And no matter how much I pose it, it's not getting loose. It's got, I don't know, there's so much detail, the head sculpts, the interchangeable mouths, which is a weird thing to say. There's like just so, I don't know. They just crushed this. This is just an all-time. This is an all-timer. All-timer.
Yeah. Dude, shout out to Jonathan from Ringside for being the first drop for Penta. I know Ringside's doing a great job killing it, but to get this guy first, the most anticipated character in WWE for figures in a long time, wouldn't you say? And yeah, I mean, at least in the top 3, right? Most anticipated, like for a long time.
It's crazy. Like, it seems like I could probably go back to 2016 and, like every year you probably have that one character that, people are itching to get, and this is definitely, I mean, Penta, people have wanted this. I think that it'd probably be a little bit more if, maybe he didn't have so many AEW figures. Like he had a lot of AEW figures, but this one,
right,
outside of the Supreme, like the Supreme's damn good. I don't know. Do you have the Supreme?
Oh yeah, I ranked that number 1 when I did Wrestling Figures of the Year that year.
It's unbelievable. But this one's this one's not better, it's very close, and they're going to make an Ultimate, so that's going to be unbelievable too. Like,
but yeah, before we get into the next one though, I threw this aside in, and we talked about this lately. Some of the posts I've been doing in Facebook, and it's behind me up in the closet, but just to get a better look, man, I hate when this happens. We don't always have to be 1,000% positive, but those box sets, I love having the, open the closet. You got a beautiful presentation, and then there I am with 4 singles, and there ain't a damn thing I can do about it. So I guess they broke the news to me, at least. We're not getting any Defining Moments box sets, at least for any time soon. How do you feel about that, Trey?
I think when did they tell us about that? Maybe back at WrestleMania, I think they told us about that, like as a new, like I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
It's one thing to tell you, and it's one thing to just, after getting all 4 figures, which we recently did from Ringside, and then not see the box available.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where that would be frustrating. I do have all the box sets. Like I have the Mint box sets, and I have the Penta and the Cody Mint back here. I don't know if you can see them right there and right there. But they, I know a lot of people, especially if they collect Mint on box and Mint on card, it is pretty frustrating to, it breaks it up. It breaks up it breaks it up. I understand that's frustrating. But I bet if you really wanted to, you could probably get a custom box made.
Yeah, probably, but I shouldn't have to.
I mean, they went away from it. They're doing the 2 and 2 now instead of the 4-pack.
Yeah, I don't think those 4 would even fit anyway. So, all right, let's get back to our final figure of 2026 that we want to talk about before we get into the future of what's coming out. And I love we both got different gear too.
Yeah, I posted a reel about this today. The post through where I'll take it and hold it and pose it up. And yeah, this is a fun figure. I know a lot of people are pissed off about the scale, like it's a little too tall, which I get. You need to have
like 6'1", right? It's like 5'11", 6'1", something like that. It might be 5'11".
And I think he's like the same height as Razor, which is that's not good. But
Razor, no. Oh, you mean the figure? I was gonna say Scott Hall is way taller.
That's what I'm saying. Like the figures are the same height.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad. Yeah. Well,
so
keep him away from Razor.
But the biggest thing is these boots, man. The sculpted boots, unreal. Waited forever for that. I mean, people have been clamoring for the dirt bike boots for just so damn long. So I mean, this is actually something that Magic had to point out to me, because at Comic-Con, again, there's so much things happening. He also had the entrance gear on, so he couldn't see it. But he was like, "Did you see the boots?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see the boots." And he showed me. I was like, "Oh, dude, these are insane." And yeah, this is a banger. I love this figure, and it's been a lot of fun. I know the height's not great, which is gonna dock him at the end of the year when we rank the ultimates, but it's still good.
Awesome. But we're off to a hot start for sure for 2026. But let's get into the fun stuff, man. Let's get into our most anticipated for 2026. We'll start off with the top elite legends PLE, and you went with a figure that I would probably have included in my at least top 10 or something like that. And it's Psycho Sid Vicious here, Monday Night Wars, doing the Alex Wright dance.
Dude, such a great figure. That's just, there's so much going on here. Like, I know it's Psycho Sid or it's Sid Vicious, but I like the denim. I think the denim looks great. You know, it really looks like the 90s. I don't know if you just look at it, but the duffel bag's great. And then, I mean, the biggest star of this is going to be the shoes. He's got these like mock Jordan 11s on, which we've talked about before. We talked about it way back at Comic-Con too, you know, like seeing it in the booth. I was like, is that man wearing Jordan 11s? And funny enough, I went back and watched the clip. He's not even wearing Jordan 11s in this moment, which makes it even funnier. That makes it even funnier because now it's like they gave him Jordan 11s and now they're in the line. So it's like, it is what it is. But somebody,
well, Roman wore those. I know he has his own Jordans, which are finally like coming out or they're out or whatever. But he's wore 11s before in the ring. So did Batista's wore them before. Batista's wore 11.
You could use this for a few fix-ups. And also, the thing is, though, is this figure, now that it hit retail, I think they had to do a change on the shoes because they were too similar to Jordan 11s. I don't know.
No way.
Yeah, so they took the black off. So they're going to be white with the gum outsole looking, outsoles. But the thing is you could just easily add some paint there. It's not.
Nah, I know, but yeah.
Wow. Now they're going to be a different colorway. They're going to be like this all white pair.
Wait, where does Ozer live again? So we can grab.
I know. I mean, but hey, at least the sculpt's in there now, so it's free game. Now you can do whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But awesome stuff. It was a great choice. You got another one, and it's 3 figures, and it's the Wyatt 6, but 3-pack.
Yeah, dude, this one, I'm excited for it in a certain way. I'm excited because I want to get it in hand. I want to see, what this Nikki Cross is about. I think the Nikki looks insane, like that, the kind of dirty looking overthrow. She's got some unique sculpts going on. I think like the lower legs and everything look interesting on there. And then one thing I'm not looking forward to is this Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan has the funniest history of WWE Mattel figures, man. I think it'd be an interesting video to go into. But and then the Uncle Howdy, it's not going to be as good as the Ultimate, I imagine, but it's an interesting 3-pack. I'm excited to get this in hand just to see it, and I think the box work is sick. So,
for sure, I do feel like the team has lost some steam though. Not because of them. I just think booking wise, they're kind of mid. They were a big deal for a while. Obviously, we lost Bray Wyatt pretty recently within the last couple of years, and his brother stepped in and did a nice job with the character, continuing that element of tradition and everything. And then they had a whole group, and they kind of took these Gacy and all these guys and really elevated them to this position, and then they just done nothing with it. And I don't know if it's just because the matches weren't great or whatever, but I don't know how the figures are gonna sell now. I think in the beginning everybody was most anticipated figure for everybody was Wyatt 6 and Uncle Howdy, and now it's like I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still think the 3-pack is going to sell, and it's kind of. I don't think it has quite as much steam as like maybe the Fiend had. You remember when the Fiend first came out, and everybody was like,
"Oh yeah,"
that was like that goes back to kind of the Penta thing, right? Like every year you have this character, these figures that you're waiting on that people want, and the Fiend was like that. And then I still think that. While they may not be as big on TV or, people may not be as excited in that front, I still think that, people love their figures. So if they get a damn good figure and it looks good and feels good in hand or whatever, people are still going to be excited about it, especially if, the word spreads that they're damn good or whatever.
Just an observation, but maybe it's because of where you live, but I notice you're picking more Walmart figures and I'm picking more Target figures. Target launches early in Cali, Walmart, there's a lot of Walmarts in the South. So is that an element there? Is just you're easier to get the Walmart figures than Target figures for you?
Not Monday Night Wars. Like it's kind of a running joke on my channel. Like
real? Oh yeah.
It's tough, man. Like Monday Night Wars single card figures are just almost impossible to find. But besides, like we find them here and there, but especially early on, man, like couldn't find any of them. Target, I don't think I've ever missed out on a Target figure. I
Target,
always,
they overstock and Walmart understocks
yeah,
as
and
far as like the exclusives.
the thing with the Walmart figures too is the box sets. I think I've seen every single box set multiple.
Those are not that hard to get. Yeah.
Correct. The box sets are easy to find, but then with
Price.
Target never has an issue. I think what people have an issue with Walmart is their pre-orders are always canceled. Every single time, doesn't matter.
Oh,
They always
yeah.
cancel. So
Yeah, good luck with that. All right. Well, here's at least we got these mainline. It's 123 and 125 demolition. So Axe and Smash, and some people have these from ringside. So it's one of those things. I don't have them yet, so they're going to be a 2026 for me. And I was able to get them on Amazon because again, the back order thing happened on ringside. I wasn't able to get it, so I grabbed him on Amazon, and then and Crush, I'm sure won't be that hard to get. He's 125 is a very nice wave that they just recently showed off. But this is a tie for me. I mean, they're all pretty much in the same group anyway, but this is one of my honorable mentions. You want to talk about what we see with demolition?
yeah, dude, just a long time coming, man. These are some of those figures that when I first got into collecting WWE Mattel heavily, it was just like kind of a lost cause. Like you weren't getting these unless you spent well over $100. I was like, dude, I'm not doing that. And they weren't under a contract for so long, they couldn't do it. You had to play the waiting game for a damn decade to get these guys. So they're going to be highly sought after. People are going to want these, to finally get updated versions. There's a lot of new collectors that weren't around back then when they originally released. This is going to be definitely some figures that people are going to have.
Yeah, and they could draw older collectors too that are out of the game that are like, dude, I got to get my demolition. I got to get my LOD. Like these guys that just haven't been under contract for a long time. Sure, like the same thing with the Dudleys resurgence over the last couple of years. People diving into the Dudleys now that probably haven't collected in years. Same thing with demo.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with Mattel, they do as annoying as it is sometimes, they do a really good job of taking care of the new collector. You know what I mean? Like they go out of their way to re-release and get guys in there that haven't been around and things like that. And that's why I thought, at this past year's Comic-Con too, is I just felt like there was such a excitement because they just did so many things right. They put in a lot of stuff that people have been asking for. They new sculpts and bringing back old names to the line, and first time in the lines like Coco Beware and Jesse Ventura, and just attires that people have been missing. They just have done a really good job in the last few years, and I think that they deserve their flowers for that.
Yep, agreed. We talked about bloody figures, and this is probably going to have to be a defining moment, and you can clear that if you know. But yeah, bloody. This was the Ringside Fest bombshell that we got just a couple months ago, and it's New Jack EC Dub.
Yep, this is going to be a part of the defining moments, and this is one, dude, that I just did not see in 100 years. Like I commented multiple times across a bunch of socials on all the things sharing this. I was like, this has got to be illegal to make this figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's just one of those things that I never in a million years would have seen them do, and they did it, man. So we're going to be getting New Jack, and it's going to be one of those probably figures that's on the top contenders, especially if we get I think we'll get it by the end of the year, but you never know. It may not make it in time. It may be beginning of 2027, maybe, but hopefully it'll be in our hands before the end of the year, and we'll see. But yeah, this was crazy. You got the staple gun, the bloody head sculpt, just a lot of fun right here.
Yeah, and they're showing this picture, so you're going to get that over, maybe it's cloth goods too, that over ripped up torn shirt there that he's got too. So
yeah, it's going to be detailed. It's going to have like the fringe sleeves and everything. So
crazy. I'm not like the biggest New Jack fan, in the world. And while I was watching ECW, it was always like Sabu, Sandman, and stuff for me. But just the craziness of this.
Sandman was one of mine that I wanted in line for so long, and then we got him, and it wasn't as good as I wanted. They gave him the damn like old John Cena shoe mold and the Mankind legs. I was upset about that, but I was happy to at least get Sandman in the line. And then we got that hardcore hack, that was also decent. So yeah, New Jack, getting some ECW guys in here. Sabu would be a game changer for sure if they could get him in there.
Right. Yeah, that'll be a big one. But yeah, just the nuttiness of this made my list. But all right, let's get into our top three now. And you went with the submission match from WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, this is a good set. I'm excited to get a Bret Hart some new head sculpts. You know, that's nice to see. You got Stone Cold that's, you know, where it's kind of weird because you're getting so many Stone Colds, it seems, but this one again, kind of like it's kind of the wrestling gear equivalent of that Elite 122, where you're actually getting him in the gear that he wrestled in, but he's not got any promo gear. It's, you know, straight up Austin. You get that same screaming head sculpt. You're getting this new head sculpt here, which this figure is going to be redone in the SummerSlam Elite line that I think shipping right now. So it's going to be pretty much that exact figure, but you get a cloth goods vest instead of a rubber vest. Then you got this really unique Ken Shamrock, which you could do a lot of different things with. So that'll be fun to see what you can, you know, do and explore there with a lot of different new head sculpts and stuff. It's just a fun set that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and these are great promo shots here. This is a great choice. I think this is one of those multi-packs that's, I don't know if it'll fly off the shelves, but because we have so many Bret Harts and Stone Colds, but I think it'll do well. I don't think it's like, I don't think everyone and their mom is going to wait for clearance like that NWO set. So I think it'll do fairly well. It's a great choice for number 3. Again, I'm the king of the ties tonight. Sorry about that, but I'm trying to get all my shit in. But the first of my number 3, and I want the ladies, and I know, you know, some folks, including yourself, weren't too thrilled with the Stephanie Vaquer, however you want to pronounce her name. I've heard it a million times, especially from the ring announcers. But Stephanie Vaquer face sculpt is not perfect, but the more I look at it, I'm like, it's pretty decent for first time in the line, Trey.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, man. This is one of the most dumbfounding things about this year and upcoming figures because everybody was so hyped. You saw the render was perfect. The render. You saw the prototype. It looked damn good. And then you're like, oh, yeah, dude, this figure is going to be an easy contender for Women's Elite of the Year. And then even Colton on the ringside stream had it in hand, and it even looked solid there. And then you see the final images, and it's just, I don't know. Like, if you look at that picture on the right and then you look at the box, there's something there, and I don't know what it is. It's like the cheek structure or the jawline.
Yeah, it's more round, and then she's got like more of a dimple, like, you know, a chin. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's a little off on the chin for sure. But I think otherwise, though, like, and maybe her eyes are a little too droopy. They should be more pierced. See how, like, she's determined on the box, and then she's kind of like high or sleepy or something on the right.
Yeah.
Half high, half sleepy. But I still don't think for the first attempt, I don't think it's brutal or ugly. It's certainly better than the first Tiffany strap.
Yeah, that's a definite you're correct, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't need to be, but I'm happy to get her in the line, and she's obviously been champ already, fast track to the top of the mountain, as they called it. I think the gear is great too. So look, you buy this now. It's like the AEW Jazzwares thing where for years we just got brutal face sculpts. They didn't use the technology, the true effects and stuff, or whatever, the digital, you know, rendering. So we got terrible face sculpts of like Jericho, Kenny, and the Bucks and Moxley forever. And then finally they came around and made good ones. Get the gear, buy the figure, get the gear, and switch the faces. You're going to get an Ultimate Vaquer. It's going to have 3 or 4 faces. Take one of those. I do it with Scott Hall all the time. Do it for this.
Yeah, 100%. You're not wrong. That's why, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily skippable, but it's just one of those things that's just kind of confusing. Like, how did this happen? You know, and it looked so good on paper, and then in the execution, it just didn't pan out. She almost looks like an actress that's playing Stephanie in a movie. You know what I mean? Like it looks like somebody cosplaying as Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've seen worse, but yeah. All right. Sticking with butter faces for 125, Julia, another one. Again, Bill and I, we get along because we get the same. You know, we're hanging out at the All Japan Museum in Japan and in Tokyo back in 2020 because we're just marks for, you know, Joshi and all that stuff. So Julia, big star for Stardom, now in WWE, and yeah, I mean, even the face sculpt on the box that doesn't look like Julia's hot. She's hot. There's no other way to say it. She's gorgeous. And that shot of her on the box is terrible. It's unflattering. And her face sculpt isn't great. But guess what? She comes with a mask. And the gear is great. The hair is great. This is a must-get figure just because you can cover it up for now. And then you'll get more Julia faces in the future.
Well, man, like, again, like, I'm looking forward to these damn figures. And, like, I want to say a long time ago, not a long time ago, like I've been a Julia fan, but months ago, I remember talking about how excited I was for this figure and it's going to be really good. And the render looked so
Render was
good.
amazing.
It
I know
looked
it's
so good.
the Jazzwares
And,
thing.
you know, she
Yeah.
was at Comic-Con. She was at Comic-Con. They presented her with this figure.
I know.
I watched her walk around the booth and look at the figures. This is not what Julia looks like.
No, but but look at the picture in the box. That's not Julia either. That's like Julia's stand-in.
Yeah, it's definitely an odd look on the box. And then,
Yeah.
but I will say, okay, hair, the color in there is incredible. And then from the neck down, they put so much into this damn figure. It's insane. Like, there's not one bit of this figure I think they can reuse. Like, they did so much. It has a one-of-one upper torso. It's got sculpted sleeves on it. She's got this waist strap. She's got, I think she has textured, like a bottom part of her attire. She's got this sculpted stuff on her legs. Her lower legs have like fringe tassels hanging down. She's got boots on. I mean, there's just a lot going on with this figure, and I'm sure people are going to put it in their top figures of the year, and I'm going to have to look at them like they're mentally ill. And nah, there's no, like, I'm sorry, like you can't. I don't know if the head sculpt doesn't look anything like the talent. It's really tough, in my opinion, to put them in the top.
You know what's crazy? I just did a talk similar to this with Unparalleled Universe, and he picked a bunch of figures, and I was like, "It's all about the face scan for me. If they don't get the face scan, but for Marvel Legends, but when it comes to these women who I've been wanting in the line, these female wrestlers from Japan, I'm like, they get a pass. I'm just a super Joshi Mark. What can I say about?"
Yeah, like I mean, I understand like excitement.
I'm a weeb.
People will make excuses for things when they really, really want it. It's just the way that it is. Like
exactly,
they'll make up any excuse. They don't care. And like I'm pretty sure I've done that in the past too. But you know, everybody does it. But yeah, I was disappointed this head sculpt. It almost reminds me of the Ultimate Becky Lynch, where it's like they talk about how much time they put into the head sculpt and trying to get it perfect. I think they put so much into it. It's almost like they lost the plot. Like you did so much that you lost it.
All right. Well, let's not lose the plot here. That was my number 3 choice, and it was a tie with Vakir. Number 2, I don't know, man. Speaking about losing the plot, defining moments. This guy is like the number 1 jobber in WWE now. I thought he was going to be a world champion in AEW. He was more over than Penta. This guy, I mean, I've seen this guy work right in front of me at, WrestleCon events, super shows, PWG. One of the most talented in-ring performers, not just lucha style, but any style, is Rey Fenix. And, he's losing to, I don't know, what was it, Trick Williams this week? Who's next week? Javon Williams, if he wasn't hurt. He's going to lose to Obafemi. This guy's a jobber, but he's getting a defining moment to join his brother anyway in the line. And I guess that's half exciting, right, Trey? It's Rey Fenix.
Well, it's funny because, everybody loves Rey Fenix, right? He's like a damn, I don't know.
Well, except for hardcore AEW fans that really wanted him to stay.
Yeah.
My buddies who just watch AEW hate this guy now. Like CM Punk, they just hate him.
That's crazy. This guy, he's so talented, and it's
I know, like,
great looking figure. The only thing, I have a few worries about this figure. Like I'm worried about the scaling possibly. Like I don't know how I feel about this torso choice. It's not the worst, but I don't know. Like this is the Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton torso. Until they updated Randy Orton, but this is the old Randy Orton, Seth Rollins torso. But I don't know, like defining moment. He lost this match. Like I know it's his wrestling.
He lost every match.
Yeah, like
dude, he's lost every match in WWE.
Yeah.
What the? Like, what? Come on.
I don't know.
It's just terrible. But hey, he's gonna come with a Supreme jacket.
Yeah, I mean that part of it is sick. I'm excited to see that, and you may be able to play around with that. And I know it says Rey Fenix on the back. You could probably put it on your Penta too if you wanted to or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this figure. I'm definitely looking forward to this figure. Just because it's Rey Fenix, and how good the Penta figure is. I mean, if the Penta figure is this good, then I'm hoping that Rey Fenix will be just as good.
Yeah, it would have been probably number 2 on my list if he just was. It's like a Tyler Bates situation for me. It's like a great figure, but the guy's just getting buried. I mean, I don't think Tyler Bates buried. He's just like on, what is he on? I don't even know. Where is he? Where's Tyler Bates wrestling? Main event.
I don't know. They make figures of people, and I don't even know what they do anymore.
Did he go back to the UK? All right. Let's move along. My number 2 is China. Yeah, I mean, China's. You talk about peg warmers at the Mattel store. There's a million WrestleMania Chinas there, but I think they nailed it. And then, of course, the latest news from Ringside Collectibles and you and everyone else in the wrestling figure spectrum is the China from the SummerSlam set, right, with the DX and not DX, the Road Dogg and Badass Billy Gunn, the Generation X members. But China is this one's great. I mean, I think I like this one better than the other. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a really good China, and they're making one that's very similar in the SummerSlam Elite set that's shipping right now from Ringside. So
Right.
Those two figures, it's cool to get two Chinas, and China actually has a really good track record of figures. I know they shelf form or whatever, but again, just because the figure shelf forms doesn't mean that it's not good. People be skipping over things and everything like that, but. Like that WrestleMania Elite she had years ago in the purple that shelf formed.
That's the one that's like if there's 1,000 at the Mattel store, they used to.
Yeah, like it's shelf formed horrendously, but it's damn good. It looks just like her, poses well. Like there's a lot to like about that figure. But this one's nice because it's going to have the Tiffany Stratton lower torso. So this figure should be able to articulate really well, and I'm looking forward to it for that reason. And it's a perfect. Dude, this is going to go perfect on your damn '90s, Attitude Era, whatever you want to do there, man. This is going to be a fronter probably up next to the rest of your DX or Triple H or whatever you want to do.
I did not have a China figure at number 2 for my most anticipated on my bingo card coming into 2026. But after seeing these images, man, that belt, everything, face scan is perfect. The body's there. She's ripped up. It still has the cans. The detail on the outfit is awesome. Kind of like a Prince Albert. Just a lot of detail there. Loving the figure, loving the choice there of Monday Night War. But okay, let's roll the drums because this is your number 1 most anticipated elite figure of the year, and it's the Gold Rock statue. Give me.
You got to tell them you're trolling.
I ain't trolling. They talk about this figure. You love this more than anything because you're the creator. According to the internet, you are the sole creator. It's not Magic. It's not Bill. It's not Ozer. You are the sole creator of the Rock statue, the final boss rock.
All right. For the record, you did this without me knowing it. So
you got trolled, son.
But
talk about it, though. Talk about this thing and why it's significant and why your name's getting tossed around with it, though. For those who don't know, my audience.
So I woke up on whatever day they shared this gallery, and I looked on my Instagram, and I was getting tagged on this post of this rock, and they're like, "What did you do?" Because about 8 months ago or so, I made a tutorial on how you can turn your figures into statues just like this. I mean, pretty much identical to this. You can make your figures into gold statues, and I showcased it, and we made maybe 7 or 8 different characters, and I showed the process of it. And after that video was posted, and after I posted it, I mean, it kind of went viral on TikTok a little bit. It kind of went viral on Instagram a little bit. And, the YouTube video did pretty well. And so you go to Facebook groups and you go to Instagram, people were tagging me and showcasing their gold figures and selling them on eBay. They popped up on eBay everywhere, people selling these gold figures. And so everybody thought that I was the reason they made this, but it's not the case because way back at WrestleMania 40 in the Superstore, they did a Rocky Balboa mock Rock statue as part of a diorama display.
Right, yeah.
And it was not a figure that was coming. It was similar to this. It was bronzish, looked like the Rocky Balboa, statue. But people were asking, when's that statue Rock figure coming out? And Mattel basically had to tell them, that's not actually coming out. That's just part of the display. And I remember talking about that and saying how cool it looked. And I remember hearing people even ask Steve and Bill and these other guys, when's that coming out? Or they would come up and ask me because, I hang out around the display like the whole damn time I'm there. And, they're asking me about it. And I'm like, yeah, that's just a part of the display. So Mattel was like, you know what, man, let's make a golden Rock because people want this figure. Or at least there's a market for this figure. And so they're going to try and make it happen here with this golden Rock figure. And I mean,
are you genuinely excited for it, though? Even though it's giving you shit, but now you're shaking your head.
Excited for it? I wouldn't say excited for it. Like, is it a cool concept? Yeah, for sure. I think it's cool. I don't want this. I don't want this to take the place of something else that we maybe could have gotten. that could have been innovative. I hope that this didn't cost a whole lot, or I hope this doesn't necessarily become a trend where it's just gold figures. But like toy companies do this all the time, man. They make variants and repaints and cool concepts, and I mean, it's not bad. Final boss, like it'd probably be better if it were something that had to do with WWE television or something. You know, this is just like a random rock statue. It's not like, you know, this had to do with a storyline or something, and you know they're tying it back. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's not something that I'm excited for, but I mean, I thought it was cool and fun that everybody was tagging me saying, "Oh, this is the MDT rock." Like that was fun and everything, and you know, but at the same time, nah. I mean, it's
That was my chance to tag you live on air. There
yeah,
you go.
literally.
Your real number one most anticipated elite is Elite 126 Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Tell me why this one made your number one list.
Dude, this figure is just, I can feel the aura from the screen, you know, like this is I love the new Top Picks Roman where they're giving him the you know, the new torso, newly tooled. He just the white attire when he first came out at Mania, you know, I was there and seeing him in this gear. This is something I've wanted Roman to do forever, is to come out in some sort of white gear or accents or something, in the, you know, the custom Jordan boots and the gauntlets, and you know, he just the dude's a menace. He just looks incredible. I'm really excited for this figure, for this gear, and I was there again, so I think that this is going to be an epic Roman figure. And I love the Top Picks Roman. The Top Picks Roman's great, and I'm hoping that, you know, this figure also, you know, can be a little bit better than that Top Picks. So
yeah, I know there's a Roman in like every other wave, or at least every like 3-4 waves. So I haven't bought one in a while. I think I didn't even buy the last Ultimate. I bought like maybe his first Ultimate or whatever. But this is a must. I'm gonna agree with you. It didn't make a list or anything. Just we got a lot of Roman Reigns, but this is WrestleMania 41. Like just for everything you said, and the lay is cool, and the face scan's great, right? So you got the torso's perfect, and the face scan's great, and yeah, I think it's an essential. If you're a Roman guy, this is essential one.
yeah, it just looks good, man. I'm excited for this one. I was thinking that they may do an Ultimate for it, but the Elite's fine. I like that they're getting you know, that Top Picks torso in there, that retooled torso. I think is going to make this one stand out. So,
right. Well, we talked about Cena having 1 million figures. We talked about Damian Priest having a lot. Of course, certainly Roman Reigns, without saying, I mean, he gets 1 million. But we didn't talk about this guy yet. And if anyone has more wrestling figures other than Cena, it's this guy. It's CM Punk. CM Punk. I mean, you talk about one in almost every wave, and I usually buy most of them. It's probably my favorite active WWE superstar. And yeah, Punk Life. This one's fun, man. Mattel Creations. Take me through what you see with the variety of Punk Life.
So this one really blew me away when they showed this on the Ringside live stream and they broke down like the prototype of it and like all the effort that went into this. Like you would think, okay, this is just going to be some, you know, they're going to take a CM Punk and they're going to stick it on a Cena and they're going to release it and it's going to be cool. And that is the last thing that they did. They went way further than that. I mean, you're getting new head sculpts here. The hat is, so what they're doing is it's not too, I'm pretty sure the hat is a removable thing that goes over both heads. So it's not a removable hat necessarily, but it caps off the top of the head. So it's kind of a weird interchangeable hair and hat combination thing there. So it's a little weird, but these lower legs are newly sculpted. These are not John Cena parts. This is going to be newly sculpted lower legs that make the calves more proportional to CM Punk. And, you know, they got his leg tattoos on there. He's got the newer shoe mold. You know, he's got removable armbands. He's got the cloth goods jersey. Of course, it's supposed to be a Cubs jersey. They're not going to be able to do that. So they do have some CM Punk stuff on there. You could get a custom made if you wanted. But then he has all these hands the brass knucks are actually sculpted to the hands.
So dope, drug-free.
Yeah, so you're not going to have an issue where, you know, they're loose and falling off. They're going to be on there really well. All that. They're using that new CM Punk torso, got a new SmackDown mic. They just did a lot here that you would think off the top of your dome, oh, they're just going to kind of mail this one in, but they did not mail this one in. They went over the top with it, and that's what you really want. You know, the people making these figures, you don't want them to, like, they could easily have just put John Cena crotch and legs and called it a day, but they wanted to really make it, so they went the extra mile, and that's what, you know, that's all you can really ask for.
Hell yeah. And much like the final match, Cena, this is just a fun Mattel Creations exclusive. And that's what I think those exclusives should be. You know, like first appearance Punk, just in a white t-shirt, not a great figure, but that's where it should be. That doesn't need to be at Target. They don't need to lose money on that thing. And I think this is so niche, kind of like final match Cena and like, you know, the niche stuff, even though it's a major character in a niche position. I think these are perfect Mattel Creations exclusives. So that was easily my number one choice. And there's 1 million Punks coming out. There's 1 million Punks that came out that were great for 2025, but this one I definitely wanted to represent him on that. And let's roll right into our Ultimate Editions. We just went with 3 because, like I think you and I talked, there's not a lot of Ultimate Editions that have been announced yet, but the ones that have, we agree on most of them. They are sick. This wasn't on my list, but it's easily in my top 5. It's Ultimate Edition Seth freaking Rollins. Dude, this jacket is everything.
Yeah, dude, I love this. I think that you have a lot of great stuff going on here. Again, the list was not massive in terms of, anticipated figures for Ultimate Editions because we don't know a ton of them, which leads me to believe that at WrestleMania we're probably going to get a lot, shown off to us when that eventually comes in a couple months or whatever the case is. But this, there's a couple things that worry me here, like the thigh gap kind of worries me a little bit, but this jacket just looks so damn good. It's an incredible jacket. The attire's nice. We're finally not getting like black or gold. I know we have black in there, but it's majority red. So that was a nice difference there for Seth Rollins. Repeat head sculpts aren't great, but this still looks to be a Ultimate Edition that's going to be fun. That jacket's just too much to not, give some love to.
Definitely a great mainline Ultimate Edition choice. This one, we don't really, do we even have info? Oh, no, we do. This is a Legends. This Legends makes sense because it's Hacksaw, kind of like Dusty. So we'll be seeing this one at Target, right?
Yeah, this is a Legends Target exclusive Ultimate Edition. He's going to come with 4 interchangeable heads. You get 2 2x4s, one that's got paint on it, one that doesn't.
Oh!
He's got the King of the Ring, crown. You got the flag. You get the shirt. There's a lot. And, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So you don't have like a ton going on as far as the figure is concerned, but they pack you in with accessories. And this is probably going to be one of those that probably creeps up on you. I could see this being one of the top, 12, 10 Ultimates of the year because it's going to be like super underrated. People are going to ignore it. And then it's going to be like, oh, yeah, that figure's damn good. Like you get some new head sculpts in here. And this one's going to be fun. I look forward to this figure. And it's one of those that's, again, you kind of flying under the radar. And it should be, plentiful to find. So hopefully
it's kind of like that Dusty, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're going to get it sooner than later, and people are going to sleep on it by the end of the year because, Hacksaw was like a famous mid-card guy, right? I mean, he won a Royal Rumble, the first one ever or whatever it was, but I think he's been U.S. champ. But other than that, he's been kind of just a guy that took the pin to the main event guys. But you got the cloth shirt, you get the flag, you get the King Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I think he beat Harley Race for that or lost to Harley Race, right? One of those.
I think so. I can't remember off the top of the
head. Because I think they actually did a King of the Ring back then, pay-per-view. And then all 4 sculpts look fun. I mean, he's got kind of like the serious tough guy, and then he's got like the 2 comedy ones, and then he's got the ho face. So they really nailed it. You got the thumbs up, the Fallout thumbs up, and you get the the insignias on the 2x4 are insane. This one's just a delight. All right, number 2. This would have made my top 10 easy, or top 5 rather. It's heel Cena.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this so much, man. I thought that this was such a cool moment. And, say what you will about the the heel turn moment itself was epic. You go to the run and all that. You can say what you will. I'll probably meet you there. It wasn't great, but I love this gear. I love the new head sculpts, the pissed off, the heel turn head sculpt itself, the Carolina blue, even though they were in Canada, I'm pretty sure, right? The Carolina blue-esque, gear and the shirt and everything's going to be sick. And one thing I'm really looking forward to is just this new torso. I'm excited to get this new torso in hand and see how well it poses and everything like that. I think this is going to be one of the better Ultimates of the year.
And it looks really accurate. If you look at the picture on the right, and that wasn't even on purpose. I'm just discovering that now. That torso's like 1-to-1, man. With like
it's damn good. And I think it could work. For a long time they used that ugly ass Ultimate Warrior torso for all of the character, like Batista. And I think somebody did a stat, and I don't remember what the stat was, but that Ultimate Warrior torso, that's like kind of grotesque looking. It looks really weird. They've used that on, I don't know if it's 50%, but it's a lot of the Ultimates like have that same torso. So getting a newly unique sculpt for Cena here is huge. And I think you could even use this torso on a younger Cena too if you wanted to. So that has me excited for future releases. And not to mention they even gave him the watch hand to hit Cody Rhodes in the face. So I think that's a nice detail.
Yeah, that's fun. And that blue could be, I don't know where they were, but that could be Toronto Blue Jays or Winnipeg Jets too, this light blue. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Don't
could have swore it was in Canada. I can't remember if it was. I don't think it was Vancouver.
Let us know in the comments, or if you're
Remember.
watching the
Actually,
video right now. Let us know.
that's something I should know, but I could have swore it was in
Yeah.
Canada. But I could be mistaken.
For sure. Yeah. What do you guys think? Where was it? But anyway, yeah, great choice here. And I think I just didn't pick it because, you know, you're the Cena guy, but it will be on my top 5 for sure. Absolutely. While the run was not a great heel run and maybe one of the worst heel runs, it was one of the best, if not the best heel moment, right? Like up there with Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah. It'll be forever talked about. Yeah.
All right. And then next up, AJ Styles. He's currently in a thing. He's got the Royal Rumble match coming out with Gunther. They got a rivalry, and I just love the mask. AJ is one of my all-time favorites, all the way back from TNA Impact. And yeah, I mean, there's some commonalities with the other AJ Ultimate. You know, they got the soccer mom windswept hair, but I think the smirking look looks like an all new one, at least for the Ultimate. And then you know, obviously the mask. So what are your thoughts on the new AJ?
I love this figure, man. I want this figure so damn bad. I want this figure so bad. And this was one of my favorite reveals from Comic-Con. I feel like I've said Comic-Con 30 million times in this thing. But,
and that's great because that's, hey, I mean, roomies for life.
That makes sense. But like, yeah, this is, I didn't get any of those greatest hits Ultimates, which is sad. I could have.
I usually skip those.
Well, you know, yeah, I usually do skip them, but I could have swore, and I get maybe I missed it, whatever. I could have swore I pre-ordered these, but I love this. I want the Cody, I want the Undertaker, and I want this AJ Styles. This is one of the figures that I'm looking forward to, and I hate that I missed out on the pre-order for this because I definitely want this one in hand. So
yeah, I think the greatest hits will be around. I think I've seen.
Yeah, they will, and I want to review this so badly. So hopefully we can make that happen.
All right, we'll look forward to that. Greatest at 7, AJ Styles was my number 2. And number 1, we have another commonality here. I think this one we talked about Tiffany Stratton being the best of the year for Ultimate, and maybe this just is the best female of the year already. And it's Rhea Ripley, man. Number 1, we got the Ultimate Edition 30 Rhea Ripley, and we both went number 1 on this.
Yeah, this is just so damn good. This is, you know, a lot of people, you know, they want Rhea Ripley with no face paint or no mask, which I can agree with. I think they should. Hopefully on her next Elite, she doesn't have any dark makeup or mask or anything like that. But until we get that, man, I think this is a really good pick. You got the mask, you get the face paint, you get all of the tattoos. I think besides 1 or 2, I think she has like a collarbone tattoo or something that's missing from this figure. But I know they can't really help that, right? They're a year made in advance, and they'll update it when it's time. But finally getting the sternum tattoo onto a figure for her, and then the gear is really nice. There's just a lot of details here. I just hope that, you know, it poses really, really well like the Tiffany. And if it poses like that Tiffany figure, there's no doubt this is going to be in the top.
Hell yeah. And then just like that's ripped soft goods, right? On that,
yeah, so you got that soft goods underneath that molded vest. So it's not going to hinder anything. It's going to flow nice. So
yeah. The mask is crazy, and you can always use another. There's a lot of Rhea Ripleys now. You can always face swap if you want to have the body with a unmasked. I think that was their thinking behind that, to save on some costs. You know, Ultimate should be packed out, but you know they're trying to make money as well. We get it, but yeah, just the outfit, the look. They also poured a lot of money into the deco and some new molding with the gear and the face mask in the outfit. So yeah, this one was lights out. Number 1. Most anticipated Ultimate Edition of the year. Now we have a special segment, My Damn Toys, where it's just focused on you. It's the top 3 WWE wish list. I was like, all right, we're already going to hit an hour and a half at this point. So let's just have you run through your top 3 wish lists. And I was kind of blown away by your choices anyway. There's no way I could match it. So we'll go right to it at some time today. Here we go. All right. My Damn Toys, number 3, new Ultimate Demon Finn Balor. We just saw an incredible match on Monday Night Raw with him and CM Punk from his island, Ireland. So what do you think about this new Ultimate Demon that you suggest, and which look would it be? There's quite a few.
Honestly, I want to see WrestleMania 39. I was there for that matchup. I thought that he should have won that match. So
is it this one?
Yeah, that's the purple.
Perfect.
It's just an easy, and like we've talked with Mattel about it, and Mattel's like, do you want a new Ultimate Demon Finn, or do you want some of these other things like a newly tooled, belt and things like that? But I'm like, yes. I want the Demon Ultimate, man. For me personally, I want to see the Demon Ultimate because you have that perfect formula, really, from his previous Ultimate. The torso is like 1 of 1, looks just like him, just do that thing up, and you can, add a beard to some of these demon head sculpts, and there's just so much potential here that they could do, and it would just be unreal. So hopefully we will get a new demon elite ultimate something. But his last elite demon, they made too damn small. They gave him Daniel Bryan legs, which made me want to jump off a bridge. So hopefully they'll do something different there. So yeah, man, they got to make a new demon. It just makes sense. It would be so, people would be so, even if they don't do WrestleMania 39, go dip into the NXT pool or something, classic. That's like 10 years ago now. Like, that'd be the perfect time to do it.
Crazy. I agree. Yeah, Finn, one of my all-time favorite, of course, former leader of the Bullet Club and Valor Club now. So yeah, I think he's got to, after the reception he had on Monday, I know it's Ireland, but I think it's time for him to go baby and go for a nice baby run and get the fans behind him and have him work his style, because it's athletic, it's innovative. You can't do that as a heel, brawling and cheating. It kind of takes away from his skill being a smaller guy. And he's always been a character guy, a guy that can, do kind of what Ricochet is doing, with the flying and the strength added to it. So let's give him a babyface run. I think it's time. Going into number 2, it's the day of Cena, and we're talking Ultimate 2007 John Cena, and this is on the left. This is a 3XR studio commission. I don't know if exactly this is the one you were thinking, but this is my favorite look from 2007 for Cena. Was it yours?
Yeah. So what it is if you go back to the WrestleMania 34 Elite of WrestleMania 23, John Cena, where he took on Shawn Michaels, that's kind of the look and gear that people are wanting, I think, or they're wanting his battles with like Umaga. So it's going to be one of those two, and they're very.
So this one right here, and shout out to Matt Goldberg, friend of Wrestling Figure News and all of us. But yeah, he did this one. He did this.
Yeah, fantastic figure, and that base right there is that WrestleMania 23 Elite. He did some like parts changes and stuff, which is pretty simple here. And yeah, that's what we want, man. We want to see an ultimate from that. I like that first Elite they did of 07 Cena. The deco is all wrong. The shirt was too small. Just there's a lot of issues with that figure, and they could really do it up if they got all the deco right on the removable armbands. And throw in the white ones with the camo ones, and that way you have kind of a 2-in-1 figure. That would be really fun. So maybe they could do something like that. But yeah, the hat deco's not right. The colors aren't necessarily right. There's a lot of potential there, and people really, really want this version of Cena, and that's one of my top ones. And especially with that new torso we're getting, it writes itself. It's just an easy do. So
yeah, and after seeing your picks, I'm like, Finn Balor is one of my favorites, just workers all time with New Japan and NXT and WWE. This version of Cena is my ultimate version because Yo Joe, man, we're like folks so focused on G.I. Joe, like this look, and I mean even Matt's look on this one is terrific with that Umaga. We got that Umaga, so almost makes sense, right?
They do that all the time, right? Like they'll create figures of a matchup, and that writes itself right there. You have Umaga, you might as well make Cena.
It's perfect. So these two choices, like I don't even want to try to think of anything on a wish list. Like you've nailed it. I'd be thrilled with either one of them. But you had one standing, and we talked about this guy before, one of your honorable mentions, the Legends, and another one of my faves, man. I can't disagree. It's Unforgiven 2001, Kurt Angle against Stone Cold, and this almost writes itself as well.
Yeah, man. This is when he won the WWF Championship for the first time. And this is the one thing I talk about all the time on the channel. Like as a kid, I don't know what it was, man, but I loved these boots. I always would like go on WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy on the N64. You could like edit the attires of the characters. I would always put these boots on Kurt Angle because I was like, dude, I love these boots. So these red, white, and blue boots, they'd never put them in the line. And I talk about it with Magic and Steve, and I tell them the next time you have Kurt Angle, please put these boots in the line. So this is like the specific, gear and moment that I would like to see. I mean, he wore the boots a lot. So, I mean, it's mainly the boots, but Unforgiven 01 is like a special. I remember the feud, and I think I even this will really draw you back. But I remember putting a VHS tape into my TV and like recording, the Raws and the vignettes leading up to this matchup because I just loved it. Like, Stone Cold throwing the gold medals off the bridge and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I just loved that as a kid. So,
Well, I think around this time I had just started drinking, so I was probably like knocked out from some Crown Royal in a bush somewhere in buddy's backyard. But I will agree, this was a pivotal moment in wrestling because it followed the 9/11 attacks, and so that was the whole thing. Is like, as big as Stone Cold was to the world, there was nothing bigger than 9/11, and you had Kurt Angle, who's a patriotic guy at the time, and he talked to Vince, and he's like, we love Stone Cold, but this makes sense in the world. Like, let's get a patriotic guy up there and represent America during the worst time in the history, right, of the country. So it made sense to shoot him to the top, and that's hopefully we'll get this version in Mattel form sooner or later. So those are your 3 wishes. And the next wish is a crowdfunder, man. Ozer and Mattel, they had the poll about a year ago, right? Would you say it's a year ago or longer? Maybe a year and a half now?
yeah, I think it's either right at a year or just a little over a year. But
yeah, just a year ago or over a year ago, they asked people, they had a poll, they had a bunch of, event style matches. I mean, rings here, setup, play sets. What do you want to see? And they had a poll, and it was like a Punjabi prison match and all this. But we went with a couple. I went with a couple, but let's just run through this one a little quickly and talk to me about what they should do. Because right here we have Hell in a Cell, and I went with the Elimination Chamber, the modern version, because I think that would just have the most playability. And then we also have a throwback version of the Elimination Chamber, and then we got the SmackDown fist entrance, which we've heard about forever. We heard about this, but then the Nitro entrance didn't survive, so maybe they're scared about that. But we'll cut back to SmackDown in a bit. But what about Hell in a Cell and some of these Elimination Chamber things? You think it's going to happen? What's going on with the crowdfund?
I don't know, man. It's tough because it just kind of hit at the wrong time. Like, we just had just unbelievable, unlucky things happening with us with these crowdfunders, right? Like the stage didn't fund. Then you had we got the New Gen Arena, and that was fine. But remember,
you got tariffs, inflation, all that crazy stuff. The situation over in China and all that.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I was just going to go through the history real quick. The New Gen Arena, they had to throw in that early bird macho to really hit the meat goal. Then you had the stage that didn't quite make it, and then they put this up, and as soon as this goes up, you got tariffs and just all this new stuff hitting that is kind of out of everybody's control. So it's just these things that are hitting us that they're just really unfortunate, and it'd be amazing to get Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, whatever the case.
I got room, man. I got room.
I mean, it would be unbelievable. Can you imagine? Like, there's just so much things you could do with this, man. Like, there's just so much you could really do with these play sets and with these displays and things like that. So yeah, I think I would love to see it happen. I think that and I really outside of the Punjabi prison, I'd be good with any of them. You give us a steel cage. They've done the play set before. I'd like to see something a little bit more grand. So like one of these Elimination Chambers would be insane. The Hell in a Cell would be insane. Character selection, it is what it is. It's not gonna. I guess as long as give me something new. If you're going to repeat characters, just give me something new in there, and it'll be fine. Hopefully, they can dig deep enough to find us something fun. But yeah, I would love to see it. And then the SmackDown stage would be incredible as well. Just maybe they can make it modular where you could edit it a little bit, make it your own thing if you don't want the fifth stage. But it's just such a great centerpiece for a ruthless aggression, display. And that was, I think that was kind of their thinking with that, Nitro stage is they were going to release the Monday Night Wars line. You had the Nitro stage, and then after they funded the Nitro stage, you could kind of customize that Nitro stage a little bit to where you could make it smaller. And so they were going to have that, and then after that, they planned on doing Raw's War, so you could have your two, WCW versus WWE displays, and wherever it went from there, I don't know. But we had the Ruthless Aggression line, and then they just kind of killed it, like after 5 sets or something. And now Monday Night Wars is like 12 sets deep.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. So yeah, I don't think the SmackDown stage is ruthless, right? So I don't think that it almost doesn't make sense now for a while because you're just dumping so many Monday Night War. You'd almost rather just step back into the Nitro stage and just give some different different exclusives, since we've already got them all now, pretty much, at least different forms of those. So all right, before we get to our final element of the show. If you're still with us watching the premiere or checking it out at home, give us a like, man. If you're new to A Toy Kind of Mood, subscribe. And we do shows every Wednesday and lots of content on the channel. So really appreciate you hang out with me and Trey and talk about my damn wrestling figures all day. So before we go, look, it's not just a WWE show. We have a little bit of bonus at the end. You specialize mostly wrestling figures, but you do cover AEW. You do occasionally cover the other stuff. And I wanted to give some love to the non-Mattel stuff, the AEW, the ringside collectible, the unsanctioned, some of that other stuff. I don't go too deep into it, but so we can go through it a little quickly. We're coming up on 2 hours. So honorable mention here. I'm going to go with Mercedes, man. Mercedes Monet. This was like one of those 3,000. It's her debut. It was on Unrivaled Premier Edition Mercedes Monet. Boston represent. It was an AEW shop exclusive. I grabbed 2 and then could never sell the second one. So I'm actually shocked because of how good. Look at the texture of the hair on the left, even as in A Toy Kind of Mood logo in it. No, I'm kidding. It's just same colors. But yeah, look at all the hair texture in the back of Monet's debut, and then an awesome fur coat. Just one of the best figures they've ever made. Face sculpt is really, really good too. So did you grab this one? And do you have any thoughts on the Mercedes shop exclusive?
Yeah, I did. I grabbed 2 of these. I have one mint on the box, and I have one that's loose. And then if you take that one that was released in the main line, you can take one of the jackets off of this figure and put it on that figure. So you kind of have a lot of options there. This figure was unreal, though. I think it came in at like number 5 or 4 in my top 10 of the year. It's really, really good figure. And I think it's better than any Sasha Banks they ever made.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they've done well with the Mercedes figures. So yeah, we got that going on. And then the next pick, we both picked it. So I don't even have this figure yet. I don't know why. I'm a massive Osprey fan. Maybe I was just waiting on a sale because it is Jazzwares. Those things, if they're not sold out right away, they do tend to go on a sale. So I am kind of waiting. Did this ever hit mainline, or was this only vault only and ringside only?
Yeah, with Jazzwares Vault and ringside exclusive. So, but I went crazy with this one. I think I pre-ordered like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, the Vault definitely does sales, but the last sale they did wasn't that great. It was like 10% off or what. It just wasn't that much, and then I still have to pay like a whopping amount for shipping. So I'm kind of waiting. You know, usually if it's like 6 months later, the figure will be almost half off on the Vault. If it doesn't sell out, you got to be careful though, because the Briscoes, the blood and guts Briscoes are gone forever, and those were gone in like a day. So you got to be careful with some of that stuff. But this was more mainline than exclusive. So, but yeah, great figure, right? Talk about it.
Yeah, so damn good, man. Actually, let me just grab it.
Sure.
Yeah, this figure, man, was just unbelievable. I just knocked like 6 figures in the floor. It's all right. Yeah, this figure was just so damn good, man. The jacket was incredible. You had like so posable. The gear was really bright. The jacket, I think, is probably the winner here. But, yeah, I mean, you waited forever on an Osprey. I know we got the Shop AW one, but this one is just truly special. And I just thank God they got this out before, you know, and who knows? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of speculation. We've probably seen the best days of Jazzwares and AEW together, right? It's probably come and gone at this point, but I'm glad they were able to get this figure out. This is one of those all-timers from them. And, you know, if this was the last figure they ever put out, which I don't know if it's close. It's close to one of the most recent figures they put out. If this was the last one they ever ended on, then they would have ended on a damn bang.
Yep. It's kind of like we talk about it on A Toy Kind of Mood, the McFarlane thing, where he's losing the license to Mattel, and the DC Universe multiverse figures have been amazing with McFarlane in the last year. And Jazzwares had their all-time best year right before they pretty much lose the license, I guess, at this point. So not official yet, right? We don't have any press release, or we don't have anybody signed to AEW yet, but it'll be an interesting 2026 to see who takes over the line. Another toy company that mostly deals with exclusive WWE, exclusive Jazzwares, started making their own stuff. And Ringside Collectibles. And I think overall they did a very solid job with the unsanctioned. You got the smaller superstars like figures, and now you got the 112, and they got to Demolition first before that Elite 123. So what do you think of these? Did you grab this, and did you grab the Chase as well?
I did. I have all the unsanctioned figures so far, and I think they're really good, especially for, you know, and I have the Joe Hendrys as well. So
Yep.
I think, you know, like coming out of the gate, I think making figures in general is really, really hard. And
Mm.
I think that you really couldn't ask for a better start. I think that they did a really good job across the, the Road Warriors, you got Demolition, you got the Joe Hendry, and nobody bats 1,000. The figures weren't perfect, but they had some good things about them, and I think that they've filled some filled some holes, and people are excited about these. And they,
Oh yeah.
the Road Warriors were going for like what they go for like $150 or something for the elites or something like that. And if they ever get them back on contract, then yeah, that's fine. But these they saw a hole in the market and they filled that hole, and I think they did a pretty damn good job. I mean, for the most part, I don't foresee them stopping anytime soon. I bet they're going to release even more characters and things that there are holes for. I think that's like their whole
Right.
purpose is to fill these holes in the collection with
Like a
modern.
Sabu, maybe a Raven. Now we're seeing Raven. We'll get into some of these figures a little later on with our most anticipated non-WWE, AEW, non-WWE, I should say. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they're filling the holes and they're strong. I think, like overall, like compared to Mattel, yeah, Mattel's been making WWE figures for forever now, and these are new for a start. I think they're off to a hot start. But yeah, overall, I would say they're like 7.5 out of 10 figures, right? They're not like there's a lot they could fix, a lot to work on. But as far as a base, I think they did fantastic work right away.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. And then they have a chase, which is always nice. You got Road Warriors, more classic Road Warriors, and then you got Legion of Doom. So yeah, I had this as a tie in my top three. Just fun sets, and shout out to Ringside for delivering the goods on these tags, and excited to see what they got next. All right, number two, went with you. You went with the Black Panther Killmonger look for the Comic-Con 2025, another Comic-Con. We grabbed this, we grabbed the Cena, so it was a great year to grab exclusives at Comic-Con for wrestling figures. But yeah, this is the realist Swerve Strickland.
This figure is just so fun. I had this at if you have it as my number two, I have it as it was my number one for AEW besides the Supreme Osprey. This figure is incredible, man. Like the head sculpt's great. I love the interchangeable mask. You got the exclusive like claw hands. You have the robe. You have the shirt. There's just so much fun here, and the figure poses well. It just hits everything that you need, man. And also, I guess you could add like a little fun nugget on top of it. I got to do I guess you could. It wasn't necessarily a meet and greet, but I did get to meet and talk with Swerve a little bit. Excuse me, at Comic-Con, and it was just a lot of fun. He's like a really chill dude, and I got to film an interview for Justin Wrestling Figure News, and it was just a lot of fun. And that kind of tied in with the figure, and he got to talk about this and everything. So he was just a cool guy, and this figure was really outstanding. It was my favorite AEW figure this year outside of Osprey.
Yep, it was a fantastic exclusive, and like Kenny Omega the year before, he had like the shield and everything. Even though he was more Captain Canada, it was cool because they're trying to tie in Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's perfect
culture with the figure. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that as a geek, as a nerd, a comic book geek.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that and that one was a Supreme, which was really cool too. So I think that they nailed like Jazzwares nailed the exclusives for Comic-Con the last couple of years.
Well, I'm glad on these thumbnails that I didn't put 1, 2, 3 and all that stuff, because you just sent the list and you gave me 3 figures and they weren't like they didn't have a 1, 2, 3, so it doesn't matter. We could talk about them early, later, whatever. But that was your number one non-WWE figure of the year. Here's my number two, and it's Jeff Hardy Blacklight. Another figure I haven't even taken out of the box, and I don't need to, because with the black light, this is something special, and I think it's a super fun exclusive. He's not with AEW anymore, but I think this was another perfect swan song, if you will.
Yeah, fantastic figure, man. This one was just so fun. I think this came in at number 7 or 6 or something in my top 10. It's just so colorful. This is a gear that we love. Just the scale is the thing that kind of is upsetting about this figure, but it still is, just damn cool. And the black light just really sets it off. It was just really innovative and fun.
Cool. And then I would say, well, since this was my number 2 and Osprey was your number 2 and Swerve was your number 1, this is probably your number 3. You sent this a little late in. And this is the unrivaled 168 Kenny by God Omega.
Yeah, this figure, again, really underrated. It's just shelf warming everywhere. You can buy it anywhere, but it's so it's like a perfect representation of Kenny Omega. I mean, I don't know what you want. Great head sculpt. They finally got like a skin tone that doesn't look, it looks really, really good, and it's a good gear, and you get the shooter hand. It's just it's a fun Kenny Omega. I think it nails exactly what it's supposed to do. So,
yeah. I think him being off TV for a while, also, they probably just ordered a lot because he's one of the faces, but he wasn't on TV for a long time since this happened, since this match. So I think that kind
this
of
is his return match, right?
Yeah, it was a return with the trios tag titles.
Yeah,
with the Bucks, but I don't know. Yeah, great figure, but yeah, they just ordered a bunch, so they're sitting around. But again, it doesn't matter. Great figure, and yeah, if you can get it for $5 or $10 or whatever, then yeah, fucking get it. One figure, I'm glad I didn't pay 100 for it, but I waited, I could have paid 50 for it, but I was happy to pay 70 or 60 or 70 for it. It was the Legacy of Sting, man. I mean, this is, you talk about all-time great exclusives from non-WWE companies. This was it. It's Jazzwares Vault. You got 3 different Stings, and of course you can't get the WWE WCW looks, but he's been with so many different companies, with Impact, with AEW himself, and he had one of the greatest retirement runs. We're talking about Tanahashi, we talk about Cena, and man, Sting topped them all when it came to retirement run. Ended on a happy note. One of the rare instances where the guy, he goes over in the end and makes everyone happy. But yeah, talk about this 3-pack and what it meant to you.
I love this pack, man. I love Sting. He's one of my all-time favorites. So getting this was so fun, and I think that all 3 figures are great, and
yeah,
they had to avoid some details maybe here and there, but I just think that they to have what they had available and to nail it right here is really good. And I had so much fun with this pack, and this is the dream sign for WWE, man. I need him to sign a Legends deal because I need an Ultimate Sting. I need the Elite Stings. I need all the Stings that they'll possibly give us, man. He's got to get one.
Yeah, and did you see, Ringside ranked the whole 2016, you mentioned it earlier, they ranked their 25 to 2016, number 1 was Wolfpack Sting, right? Oh, that was your list.
That was their top 10. He was their best seller for that year, yeah.
Oh, bestseller. Okay, bestseller for Ringside, and then number 1 on your list, right, for 2016.
Yeah, that figure's great, and they could. There's just so much they could do, man. They could really. You could do Surfer Sting, you could do Crow Sting, you could do.
Of course.
There's just that you could even do 2015 Sting, or his little WrestleMania 31 run or whatever. And I know we've gotten some of those and whatever, but you could from the vault those, or you could upgrade them in some way. So, yeah, I mean, like if they would have had Sting as a part of that Nitro stage crowdfunder, it would have funded.
Cool. Well, the good news is we're over 2 hours, and I'm not going to keep you very long because this next list is kind of a my damn list, except it's my damn moody list. It's the top 3 most anticipated non-Mattel figures, whether it's AEW, Hastel, whatever. And it's just, I made this list. You said you had nothing. So if you want to commentate on my list, fine. So let's take it away. Number 3, I went with the 2-pack, man. I joked with JP, Jonathan, at Ringside forever with the Prince Nana 2-pack, man. Since he's been doing the dance with Swerve, I've been joking about it, and it's a reality. It's coming this year. Oh, man, I cannot wait. I'm pre-ordering day 1.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a home run, and it's one that, everybody's been wanting forever, and Swerve's figures are always great, and getting Nana in there. And I actually got to meet Prince Nana over WrestleMania 40 weekend in Philly, and he is one of those, like, genuine dudes, like, just genuinely nice guys. Like I'm this guest, and he's like just talking to me like I'm some superstar or something, and he doesn't even know me. He didn't even know who I am, and he's just talking to me, and I don't know, just a really fun guy and cool guy and just super down to earth. So he was awesome.
Super dope. Had a lot of fun. Here's one last look at it. But yeah, I've wanted Nana on the line forever, and yeah, Swerve's one of the good guys in the business and just one of the best to do it. All right, number 2. I never heard of this company, really, I'll be honest, until now, but it's their Regium from Hassel Toys, Regium Raven. And I wasn't going with Ahmed Johnson, but then they snuck on these LOD spike shoulder pads. They said they're coming with it. So, I mean, I've been trying to reach out to these guys for a review. It's hard to get a hold of them, but I know you said you left the comments and you want to review these 2. But yeah, talk about Quote the Raven Nevermore and you going down, Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, man, when you sent over that list, like the thing is these were the first things on the top of my dome because I have forgotten. There's just so many third-party companies making figures that
Right.
sometimes you forget. But I've even plugged these in some news videos talking about how excited I was for these. Like Raven as a kid, man, I loved Raven. I would love to get this, fill up a shopping cart full of weapons and roll them out there. Like I'm looking forward to this figure. I hope that, when we finally get it in hand or we see it fully rendered and, in full form. We've seen some prototypes, we've seen some renders. If it's anything like what we're seeing here in the plastic form, I hope that, it delivers. Then I'm most definitely going to be tracking this down. I think it looks damn good.
And then, yeah, here's the Ahmed. They had just the picture on the right. It's like, all right, we've seen Ahmed before in a bunch of different lines and stuff, but with the spike shoulder pads, especially it's 1/12 scale. Hopefully it scales great with the unsanctioned LOD. Then it's like a perfect connection between the two if possible.
Yeah, I think that should probably that needs to be the goal for all these companies making figures, man. You need to make them in scale. That's like one of the big important factors. And again, Ahmed Johnson, this is a character that, people have wanted in their Mattel, kind of like a Coco Beware, one of these, Steve Blackman, been on the list for just years upon years upon years. And so, okay, you see a hole in the market, fill that hole, boom, there you go. So I'm excited for it.
And I want to give one shout out to Raven because is the documentary. I got to watch it with the lady, and it's on Amazon. Quote the Raven Nevermore. I think it's like $3 or something silly. Like just pay it. It's worth it. And the documentary is awesome. It's really good. It's like covers this whole ECW run and a little WCW, a little WWE. But they said they might even make a part 2. He's been making the rounds with podcasts with every big podcasting. He's with Jericho and I think Wrestling Observer and all them. So yeah, check out that documentary. It's fucking awesome. It's fun. All right, last figure I got on my list, and we talked about me being a super weeb mark guy for Japanese wrestling, and yeah, I think it's sad after seeing this that Jazzware is probably losing the license to AEW because they did a New Japan AEW Final Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi. This looks a million times better than those Super 7 figures. I've been wanting something like this from Storm Collectibles. They just kind of fell off with that. We got a million Ligers. We got the Suzuki that's behind me here, and then we've gotten the El Desperado. We got a bunch of those variants, but then that was it. It's like Storm Collectibles always wound up on this list, and that we've gotten nothing since. So maybe some licensing stuff. Maybe they didn't reach their financial goals, but this is terrific. I mean, the amount of deco on the jacket. On the cloak jacket, and you got to look at the knee pads, high fly flow. You got, just awesome deco. Again, I'm a little nervous about the render a little nervous about the scans because the face sculpt on these renders is perfect, and we know Jazzware's track record for face scans hasn't been the best. So, any thoughts on Tana here on the Final Ace?
I think this is great, man. This is another hole in the collection. I know we had the Super 7, and he's had some figures, but I think this is going to be that one that people really want, in this scale to fit in with their AW figures, their WWE. This is the one I think that's going to probably scale the best and all those different things. So yeah, absolutely nailed it. I hope his head sculpts aren't too big. I feel like that's kind of been a running theme. Hopefully, his head won't be too big and it'll fit well and pose well and accomplish everything that you want it to. But it looks like it's going to be very toyetic, and I do believe this is probably going to be a rubber entrance duster, I imagine. But regardless if it's cloth or if it's rubber, I think it'll be fine because it's not going to hinder too much. I think it's going to look really good, so I'm excited for it.
Yep, and it looks like a Supreme build on there. It's $35. So if it's a Supreme build, for ringside. That's a great. That's a great deal. If it's just still unsanctioned or unrivaled or whatever, but it does look like Supreme build to me, doesn't it?
I think it's just a regular unrivaled figure. I don't think it's Supreme.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see.
It probably. Depending on you might.
Yeah. Maybe I don't see the butters there. You're right. I don't really see they're hard to tell actually if the butterfly joints are there because the angle on the right looks like it is, and then the angle on the left doesn't. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's Supreme. I feel like they would have probably made that more known, but
it probably would have been $42. I don't see it being 35 if Supremes are 35 and it's ringside, right? So yeah. Either way, it looks really good, and yeah, it's from the Forbidden Door 2023 when he had that AEW World Championship versus MJF. So a lot of fun there, and a great list. All right, what else we got here? Oh yeah, there you go. There's a social media. My Damn Toys. So for those, watching the Toy Kind of Mood and you enjoyed what you had here, you're like, all right, let me scratch that wrestling figure itch to quote, our friends over there. But yeah, and you're watching, check out at My Damn Toys, at My Damn Toys everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Instagram, tell them where
Instagram, as you see it on the screen. You got TikTok is My Damn Toys, YouTube My Damn Toys, Twitter My Damn Toys. Everything is all the same. No underscores, no anything like that. It's all straight across. So,
yep, freaking fantastic, man. I had a blast. So the last question, I'll ask you, last question or two is, where do you see 20? We talked about the most anticipated figures, but where do you see 2026 going for wrestling figures? Any kind of change? Any deep thoughts on 2026?
I think we're going to kind of continue to see these trends. I think like the unique sculpts. I think the figures are going to continue to get more detailed, if that makes sense. I think we'll probably see that that Tiffany strap. I think WWE and Mattel are probably going to try to implement that ball joint at the waist probably. Hopefully we'll get the first men's figure featuring that. And I think that with Magic and Bill splitting time between figures and having more designers, it just has breathed a breath of fresh air into the line. I think that's going to be the big thing for 2026 is just continuing to see that go and see how far that can go and everything like that. So hopefully that'll be the case, and I'm excited for it because I think, again, I thought Comic-Con 2025 was unbelievable, probably the best reveal they've had, and it just seems like every reveal they get bigger and bigger, crazier and crazier. So
yeah, it's 2026 is kind of the magic year, right? Because this is really where we're starting to see his creations with Mattel Creations and Mattel come to fruition. So I think Magic, not obviously Bill's the greatest of all time, but we're going to see a lot with Magic and maybe giving some more room for Bill to breathe over there. And we appreciate, again, Steve O's are showing up on a lot of shows. Maybe we can grab them on a Toy Kind of Mood in the future, or grab the whole crew there. But yeah, what about your channel, man? What are we going to see from My Damn Toys? Anything new you got in the pipeline for what's going on the YouTube? Anything new, anything different for 26?
I have like some different projects that I'm working on behind the scenes. I really wanted the end of the year to be special every year moving forward. So that's, we had the awards show going and did like some fun things there. We're always going to do our rankings and stuff like that. We'll always, of course, review and have news, but gonna probably crank out some surgeries here soon, which is going to be some customizing stuff. And
sure,
we have some fun stuff, like in the backlog. It's just, priorities, getting all that stuff squared away. Always trying to, maybe overthink things sometimes, but, just try to get as much,
yeah.
You don't want to half-ass it. You want to whole-ass it. So,
yep. Got you, man. I don't know how we jammed all of that in 2 hours and 12 minutes, but we did, man. Appreciate you always, Trey. And it was good hanging with you. We haven't done this in a while, so let's do it again.
Yeah, dude. Anytime. I'm always down to come on and yap about wrestling figures. That's what I do. So,
yeah, for sure. As far as like big wrestling events, when they're going to announce figures, we got Mania weekend, but we just had Ringside Fest not too long ago. So it's probably Mania weekends the next time we're going to have a lot of big reveals.
Yeah, probably so. Like, they'll do every month they do a gallery. So we'll get a gallery probably in February, March, and then April, they'll probably save up some stuff, give us a big Mania reveal. And then, that'll give us a break until Comic-Con in July. And then Ringside Fest again. You know how they do every year. It's kind of like three big reveals usually. You got WrestleMania, Comic-Con, and then Ringside Fest. So,
all right. Well, I'll be in Vegas too, so I'll see you then, man. We'll have to catch up again. It was a great time last year, so looking forward to catching you in Sin City for Mania weekend in April.
Yeah, dude, sounds good.
All right, Trey. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. For My Damn Toys, I'm Travis Moody for A Toy Kind of Mood. It's been episode 251. So we'll catch you over there, ringsidecollectibles.com, wrestlingfigurenews.com, and at My Damn Toys. Until then, be good, okay? Catch you in the toilet too. Peace.